Welcome everybody once again to a Can We Read adventure. It's been about 8 months since the last one.
We don't have a podcast anymore.
We ran out of Gem Find Your Fate books.
Can't decide what we want to do for our next podcast yet. It's been a whole thing.
Been, going through, trying to figure it out, and unfortunately...
Instead, we're just going to do more of this.
Unfortunately, Summer Sanders is not there to help us figure it out. So, Here we go. Padding, we'll call this. Find Your Fate Adventure number 1, Indiana Jones. Kristen, basically, Find Your Fate, because it is not Choose Your Own Adventure, of course. Don't, they have a copyright on that. I'm sure that you know about the whole thing with Black Mirror recently.
Oh, well, I watched Bandersnatch, but...
No, they called it a Choose Your Own Adventure, and you can't do that, because it's copyrighted.
Oh, that's pretty funny, and especially funny that a huge series on Netflix was like, no, this is fine.
So, Find Your Fates. I was like, what other Find Your Fates are there? There were some Transformers ones, there were G.I. Joe ones. I was like, these might be good for the podcast. But then I saw, Kristen, did I see Indiana Jones, and in my mind's eye, I saw the sky, and in the sky it read, Indiana Jems!
I feel like we definitely made that joke at some point on the podcast.
It's very possible, even in one of the Can We Read Adventures previously, because of the stupid adventures they go on.
That's true. So, obviously there's a rich well of podcast lore that we're dipping into here of whatever.
So I made the lovely image that is at 50% opacity, as is, normal for the podcast here, off to the side.
Does that to hide the fact that the lines on the edges haven't been feathered at all?
It's an old book, Kristen.
Whatever. Sounds like an excuse to me.
We've got the 10-hour Indiana Jones in the background here. Let's just go ahead and put this over here so we can make a quick comparison for some reason.
It works weirdly with her head at that slight angle.
Yeah.
I mean, the hat is clearly not sitting correctly on her head. She has it a little bit askew, it seems. Oh, I didn't even notice. I was like, why is Jem there twice? And it's because Harrison Ford is also there twice.
Yes, so, alright.
And he has his best friend, a panther, there with him. And what appears to be a feral page boy who wants him dead. So he's gonna hit that little boy with the whip so he and his friend Panther can go hang out.
He's holding his friend Panther back because he said a very off-color remark about the Panther. The postboy did.
See, that's terrible. I like that really sensitive depiction of,
natives.
Natives? Yeah, I think I couldn't think of
the least offensive term we can go with, probably.
Maybe, yeah. Where does this? Oh, well, yeah. Where is Horror Island?
Well, all right. Let's get into it here. Indiana Jones and the Curse of Horror Island. By
Excitement thrills, danger await you. What? Excitement thrills, danger await you and any... What? Wait a minute. I have issues with this sentence.
Already, we're off to a great start. 4 words in.
There's too many ellipses.
It probably should be danger awaits you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. In the jungles of the South Pacific, the choices are up to you. So, Joe, here's the problem we immediately run into.
South Pacific
If you showed me a map, I don't know if I'd be able to point out what the fuck the South Pacific is. I know where the Pacific Ocean is, so okay, that's a start. And then south of there, yeah. So... that would be my best guess, but I wonder how much actual detail we're gonna get geographically. I'm not gonna... my hopes aren't high.
Oh god, I opened the book and a piece of candle wax fell out or something. Jesus.
Whoa! What did R.L. Stine do to that thing?
Speaking of, done by R.L. Stine.
Pull my nose.
Goosebumps auteur, of course.
Guy that I just a few minutes ago discovered looks weirdly like Woody Allen.
So, Kristen, you are about to set off on an adventure with Indiana Jones. Keep in mind... Wait a minute.
Whoa!
Remember in our previous Can We Read Adventures, you are Jem.
I am Jem.
You Jem.
But I'm not Indiana Jones?
No, you're the page boy, actually, in this book.
No! Why can't I be the Panther?
You know what, Kristen, for the sake of... We'll just say that the Panther isn't like an anthropomorphic Panther friend of Indiana Jones instead of... dressed as a page boy, of course.
Yeah, of course. So that's the duality of man that we're seeing there on the cover. I'm really now distracted by the way that the whip is looping around the godlike illustration of Harrison Ford's ear. He looks like he's lassoing himself by the ear.
It hits his ear, like, perfectly by the curve.
There's a whole thing with art. So I went to art school, I don't know if you knew this about me. Where you really can't have lines intersecting like that, so close to each other. Like, he needed to be a little bit to the left and a little bit down, and that would have looked better.
Take it up with the artist, Kristen, whomever that may be.
Yeah, figure that out and get me their phone number.
Should I read the back of the book or the first page first?
Do the back of the book.
Alright.
Because when else would we find the time to do it?
Will you and Indiana Jones uncover the curse of Whore Island? It's your summer vacation. Oh, it's your summer vacation. Well,
How old am I?
Asking the important questions.
Do Panthers go to school?
It's your summer vacation. While your friends go to camp and travel with their families, you embark on an exciting journey with your cousin, Indiana Jones, part Panther.
Harrison Ford fucked a panther. That's how that works, right?
I'm making a lot of assumptions. It could have just been that his mom's sister fucked a panther.
Who knows, really, at this point? Well, I guess we'll have to find out more.
The great archaeologist to the distant Coral Sea. You are bound for Whore Island in search of a priceless...
Joe, I'm really gonna need you to stop doing that. If you slip once or twice, that's fine. But take a little bit of that sauce off.
You are bound for Horror Island in search of a priceless ebony idol, but legend has it that the island is cursed and many who go there never live to return. What will happen to you? The danger begins before you even leave the New York harbor. God damn!
Whoa! Oh man, I was really hoping I would be able to imagine this little page boy is British.
Is this an episode of Gem where just like the episode doesn't even start and they're nearly dead?
Yep, we already have a problem. Also, could it be that the reason so many people have had issues getting this idol is they don't love white people coming and trying to steal their shit? It's just a thought I had.
It was the 1940s, Kristen. It was a different time.
Everything belongs to me in science and archaeology. That was my white man voice.
It belongs in a museum.
No, probably not.
And every step of the way... Alright, wait, I'm sorry. Oh, here's another weird syntax.
Was that line from when there was Nazis also trying to get stuff?
I mean, all of them, other than Crystal Skull, take place in or around... Nazis are the main bad guys in the first and third movies, basically.
Oh. Where are Nazis hanging out in, like... Here's my guess, South America?
It's like 1939, I want to say, or something, so it's not...
So they're just everywhere.
So Indiana Jones, as an American, is just like, Hitler, fuck him, whatever.
I can get behind that. Sure, why not? Isn't now a good time to reiterate that nothing has changed since we did the podcast and I still don't know anything about Indiana Jones?
All the movies are on Netflix now, Kristen.
I don't care! I've seen the YouTube video of the Disney ride.
Raiders of the Lost Ark is good. It's a fun movie. Mom was part of the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular when we went to Hollywood Studios.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, is that our legacy? Is that the reason why we need to... You're right, Joe, I'm sorry. I've done my family wrong.
Can I finish reading the back of the book, please?
I'm sorry!
The danger begins before you even leave the New York harbor. Period. And, starting a sentence with and, not good. And every step of the way, comma, battling hostile natives and savage jungle animals, comma.
Hostile natives.
Why are they so hostile? I wonder if it's because I'm white.
Couldn't imagine why.
You decide what to do, comma, which moves to make, comma, as you find your fate, exclamation point. Let's open the goddamn book.
Why do they keep yelling, colonialist at me? They keep calling me colonizer. What does that mean? What language is that?
As this book opens, you and Indy will begin in a secret voyage to Malakula, a mysterious island in the Coral Sea. Why is Malakula called
Coral Sea real?
Why is Malakula called Horror Island? What strange curse does it carry? What dark secrets are buried in its tangled jungles? You will learn the answers to these questions as you and Indy challenge the curse of Malakula. You will choose your own actions and decide your own fate by no, don't say choose your own adventure. Decide your own fate by following the directions at the bottom of each page. If you make the right choices, your many adventures in this book will be exciting, and successful. If you make the wrong choices, you and Indy may be trapped on Whore Island forever.
There are worse places. Joe, I have fantastic news.
What is that?
The Coral Sea is real.
Oh, good. Good to know.
And it is right near Australia.
Happy travels. I can believe hostile natives near Australia, I guess, in the 1930s, late 1930s.
On the very west side of the South Pacific Ocean.
All right, Kristen, you gotta take it up with David B. Mattingly as the illustrator for this book.
I'll kill him. Okay, let's go.
Ballantine Books, New York. Let's see. the fuck is that? Sorry, I'm looking at this here. There's just like what looks like a math problem on one page, and I thought it was R.L. Stein's foreword or like his dedication. I was like, what the hell is this?
Figure it out and send it back to me. I need to help my son with his math homework.
Get Summer Sanders on the case.
Stop saying that.
All right, so I think that for the subsequent ones here, there are illustrations within this book, and it would help if I scanned them, because we got here, starting off just on the left side, you've got Indiana Jones gripping the brim of his hat, the page boy making force lightning hands towards a boat.
Whoa!
Off in the distance. We're looking at them from behind, and it's Pier 66, so Ill Hill. New York City Harbor, June 1933. Hey, you! Watch out! You jump out of the way as a cart piled with high steamer trunks rumbles past you. A gigantic ocean liner has just pulled into port, and passengers are streaming down the gangplank, filling the pier with noise and confusion. This has been the most exciting summer of your life, and it's only June!
Wow! Remember vacation, Joe?
All I ever wanted.
Being an adult sucks.
You had no idea when school let out that your parents were sending you to spend summer with your cousin, Indiana Jems. And with your sister, Indiana Jems.
Love her.
And you had no idea as soon as you arrived, Cousin Indy would get a mysterious assignment. An assignment that would take both of you to a small island in the South Pacific.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Assignment.
Should he choose to accept it?
Given by whom?
By the archaeology department at the
NYU.
He does teach at a college. I don't know which college, though.
What college does Indiana Jones work at? Thanks, autocomplete. Oh, he works at the University of Chicago.
What the fuck is he doing? What are they doing? Whatever.
He can go wherever he wants, Joe.
True. He's a globetrotter. He's a jet setter.
He definitely is. Can't fight Nazis if you stay in Chicago. Sorry.
Kristen, don't you remember Illinois Nazis from the Blues Brothers?
I haven't seen the Blues Brothers in a really long time either, okay?
This is better than going to summer camp! You shout over the noise of the crowded pier. Take it easy, kid. I'm doing a Patrick Warburton voice for him.
That was almost Harrison Ford, but not really.
Indy says, pushing his battered hat on his head. Look for Pier 66. Crack! What was that sound? Crack! Crack! It's whack!
No! Whoa!
Oh,
Reagans!
Oh, excuse me, Kristen. The end of page 1 here. Gunfire! Exclamation point.
I mean, it is New York.
Somebody is shooting at you!
Whoa! Me? A little kid?
Turn to page 2.
They really hate anthropomorphic panthers.
Somebody doesn't want to set sail.
What?
Somebody doesn't want us to set sail, excuse me. Indy says, as the two of you duck behind a stack of luggage, his narrow eye scans the pier. Ping! A bullet bounces off the suitcase in front of you. I think there's more than one of them, Indy says. We're sitting ducks. We gotta move out. Look out!
There's multiple shooters.
Check the grassy knoll.
No!
Look, there's Pier 66 right ahead! You cry, pointing. That must be our boat! You see a small red cargo boat bobbing up and down in the dark water. If we try to make a run for the boat, maybe we'll be easy to— Oh my god, Kristen, the choice here might result in you dying via gunfire within the first
guess
few
what,
pages.
Joe? I'm ready to die. I've never been more ready in my life.
If we try to make a run for it, we'll be easy targets, Indy says. Maybe we should run to the crowd to try to lose them in the confusion. Which way should you run?
And if someone in the crowd gets shot?
Kristen, please note page 2, first of all. And, if you decide to try for the cargo boat, turn to page 8. If you decide to run into the crowd, turn to page 19. Page 8. Page 8, right?
For that boat.
Going for the boat. I better see at the end at the bottom of this page. Ooh, there's an illustration of a man dressed as a ship's captain holding a gun.
Is it Eric?
It very well may be.
Maybe.
Keep your head down, kid, and don't run in a straight line. Serpentine you could have used much less words for that, Indy. Just run fast. You both leave the safety.
Question.
Yes.
What if he picked up the little kid?
Kristen, a panther is very heavy.
Not when they're in little kid mode.
True. You both leave the safety of the luggage pile and run toward Pier 66 and the cargo boat. Bullets whistle over your head. There are screams and the loud footsteps of people rushing to get out of the way before getting out of the way and out of your way and away from the gunfire. What the fuck?
Arlstein, I'm really gonna have to level with you here. Not your best work.
But all you see is the red cargo boat waiting at the other end of the dock. Then you hear an angry voice. Freeze or I'll shoot! A policeman is standing at the edge of the pier, his pistol drawn. Don't take another step! I guess he's a policeman and not a ship's captain. My apologies. Aww. Keep running, kid! Get to the boat! But the policeman can help us, you yell. What should you do? Kristen, are you gonna trust a fucking cop?
What page are we on?
Please note page 9, because this is a weird page that, some reason the text went over both pages because of the illustration. Run right past the policeman and get to the boat. If that's your choice, turn to page 27. Stop and ask the policeman for help if that's your page. 35. 27, I'm assuming, is where we're going.
Well, do you see what I wrote?
Forget fucked, cop.
Yeah.
Fucking pig.
Absolutely not. Not me. Not this panther. Creow.
That's the paper noise, Kristen.
No, it's a paper panther noise.
Keep running, kid! Indy cries. Run all the way to South America if you have to. I don't know about that.
That sure sounds like I made the decision for Indiana Jones.
The policeman raises his pistol. Without slowing his pace, Indy grabs a giant oil barrel at the side of the dock. He gives it a strong push and rolls it right towards the policeman. He's pushed over onto his back, and his gun flies out of his hand. Indy grabs the policeman's pistol. I hope he catches it. Just like, woo! And then caught like a real badass man.
And then he does a handless cartwheel.
And keeps running. You're just a few steps behind. In seconds, you're on the deck of the small cargo boat. We gotta get this crate moving, says Indy.
Once he gets onto the boat, he slides on his knees like John Travolta.
Silence. Suddenly, 3 masked men carrying pistols step out of the captain's cabin. Where do you think you're going? One of them asks. This is fucking adventure right out the gate. Jesus Christ. We have no time to
You know what I am realizing, Joe?
Yes.
One of my issues that I have in retrospect with the Gem Find Your Fate books is there were no guns. And I really feel like guns improve every single story.
We have had at least 4 guns so far.
There's been a lot of guns so far. That's amazing.
Turn to page 58.
We've had multiple conversations about how, like, just someone having a gun suddenly is, like, the peak of comedy for me. Which is why, like, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia so much.
You got your gun, Frank?
Yep.
Of course I got my gun. Hit the deck, Indy screams. You drop to the floor. Indy grabs the fire hose off the cabin wall and turns it on the 3 masked men. The force of the spray pushes them back, choking and gasping for air. What the fuck? Drop your guns and scram, yells Indy. The 3 men don't hesitate. They drop their guns on the deck. Indy keeps the powerful spray on them. They run off the boat and onto the deck. Stop where you are, cries a policeman. The 3 men were quickly surrounded by cops. The cops will be on this boat in no time, Indy says. I don't know where the crew is, but we gotta get out of here. We don't have time for explanations. We can't sail the boat ourselves, you cry. You see that 3 policemen on the dock are heading back for your direction. I don't think we have any other choice, says Indy. Turn to page 65.
Learn how to move boat.
Driving a tub like this can't be that hard, can it? Indy asks, looking at the controls. Don't we have to lift anchor or something? You ask.
That's a great question.
Yeah, I guess so. But the 2 of you don't have time to figure it out. You hear the clatter of heavy footsteps on the dock. You and Indy duck down behind a large cargo crate. Someone, is it the police? Have boarded the boat. Has boarded the boat. That doesn't seem... Someone, is it the police has boarded... No, alright, that makes sense. Indy looks around the dock. We have 2 choices. He says we often have 2 choices.
Weird. It's strange how often we have 2 choices.
We can jump overboard and wait in the water till they leave, or we can try to hide down below. Please note page 65, Kristen.
Well, my instincts tell me that we need to be on the boat to leave New York. So how about we stay on that boat?
Page 14 is where we are going. 14. You and Indy practically dive down the stairs to the lower deck. You stumble through the darkness until you find a large supply locker. Oh, Metal Gear.
No!
You pull open the door and climb inside, pulling the door shut behind you. Footsteps echo on the deck above you, and then you hear them on the stairway to the lower deck. The footsteps stop. Silence. There's no one here, Brady! says a man's voice. "Let's get going! We got those 3 mugs for questioning. That's a good night's work." Oh, Brady, of course. The Irish cop in the 1930s.
Shh, don't worry about it.
"That's fine with me, Sergeant," you hear Brady reply. A few minutes later, the boat is silent again. You and Indy are alone. Or are you? As you open the supply locker, you hear a muffled cry coming from the cargo hold. "We seem to be sharing our accommodations," Indy says, drawing his pistol. Thank you for the ship's captain image.
You're welcome.
As you open the supply locker, you hear a muffled cry from the cargo hold. "We seem to be sharing our accommodations," Indy says, drawing his pistol. "Let's go introduce ourselves." Go to page 15, so directly to the next page.
We're doing great.
You push open the steel locker door and burst into the cargo hold. There on the floor, bound and gagged, are the boat's captain and crew. "Boy, someone sure doesn't want you to get where you're going, Indiana." Indiana.
Mr. Jones, sir?
The captain says, after you... Oh, it wasn't... It wasn't you, it was the captain.
Oh. No, I think the captain just sounds like that.
The captain says, after you...
Weird, the captain's Didi Khan.
After you untie him and his men, "I say we get out of port right away." "That's fine with us," Indiana says, grinning. This trip has got to get better." A short while later, you are steaming out into the ocean. The night stars are reflected in the dark waves beneath you. It's the most beautiful sight you've ever seen. Your destination is the tiny jungle island of Malekula, located just southeast of New Guinea in the Coral Sea. In 1933, this is a slow voyage of many weeks, especially on a cargo boat as small as yours. Did they pack? Did they bring anything?
It seems like we weren't greatly prepared for this trip.
They're gonna get
scurvy.
scurvy!
A real place too.
Oh, nice.
I'm not gonna lie, it sounded fake.
I was gonna say, yeah, I thought it was fake too, especially if Malekula is, do you see anything on the Wikipedia page for Malekula about being called Whore Island?
Let's see, find horror. No, that word does not appear on the Wikipedia page for Malekula.
Why are you headed for this distant island? Turn to page 43.
We're gonna steal things.
Right. Indy spends hours leaning against the rail, his hat tilted back on his head, staring silently into the distance.
Hours?
Hours.
Could he sit down, maybe?
His legs are tired.
He's just making everyone nervous.
When he's not doing that, he's sitting in his cabin reading through old books and papers. One day after you've been at sea for 2 weeks, 2 fucking weeks,
this summer vacation sucks.
you get him to tell you where you're going and why. It took him
Whoa!
It took you 2 weeks to muster up the courage. Hey, Indy, where the fuck are we going?
Are we sure that Indiana Jones had permission to take this child?
Oh. Sorry, I lost my place.
It's okay. I thought you were just really ruminating on that.
Several years ago, Professor Abner Ravenwood, oh, that's Marion Ravenwood's father. That's explained in the first movie.
I wouldn't know,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Means nothing to me.
Led an expedition to the island of Malekula, Indy begins. He hoped to find the remains of a lost civilization buried in the island, but he failed. Why? What happened, you asked? He was chased off the island by the local natives. They claimed that his digging had uncovered ancient evil spirits, or they were just trying to scare him to get him the fuck out of there.
Could the natives be liars, Joe? Do we know that the natives are going to turn out to be liars?
Do they have the capacity to lie?
I don't know. We'll see how smart they are.
Ravenwood and his fellow scientists had to flee for their lives. Few have visited Malekula since that time. The natives claim that the island is cursed, and that strange creatures roam it, and evil spirits haunt what is left of Professor Ravenwood's excavations. They have renamed the island. They call it Horror Island.
Who renamed it? Natives? They renamed it Horror Island, 2 English words?
to keep the tourists away.
They know 2 English words, horror and island.
It's like a beware of dog sign for an entire island. Sounds like a great place to visit, you say. Why are we headed there? I'm coming to that part, Indy says. Turn to page 46. Oh boy, this is a long page. The small boat churns its way over the water. Indy leans back against the rail, rolling his coiled bullwhip around in his hands, and continues. A few minutes after you arrived, I got a call from Marcus Brody. I think he's a character too, I forget. He's the curator of the National...
All these names sound fake.
He's the curator of the National Museum. He told me that he discovered some papers and a map of Professor Ravenwood's...
Wait.
Yes.
National Museum?
National Museum. The United States famous National Museum.
Yeah, the one that we have.
The Smithsonian?
I think it was... Oh, okay, now here's the question. Would they be allowed to say the Smithsonian?
They were able to say it in Bridge of Terabithia.
I don't know how that's supposed to be a gauge of whether or not they would be able to say it in Indiana Jones.
Bridge of Terabithia, Kristen?
I watched the movie.
I watched the movie too, and boy oh boy, that Liquid Terminator as Girl's father, or was it his father? The Liquid Terminator played one of their fathers.
Josh Hutcherson was in that movie.
I don't know who that is.
Hunger Games boy.
Is he
when
the
he
main...
was a Will boy?
Is he the main kid?
Yes, Will boy.
Will boy. I got sidetracked with Bridge of Terabithia. Bridge of Terabithia, sad movie. You'd think that
it's fine.
You'd think that Disney would try to Disneyfy it, but they didn't.
I mean, what would be the point?
It's a downer, is all I'm saying.
Sorry, I'm trying to do a Photoshop thing here.
The papers reveal that just before Ravenwood fled Malakula, he made a fabulous discovery. He uncovered a bird carving, an ebony dove. This dove was worshipped as an idol by the natives of the island more than 2,000 years ago. It's absolutely priceless, and it's still in Malakula. Okay, Indy,
So we should take it!
You're gonna have to give me a good-ass explanation as to why you need it.
I want it!
And your job is to get it for the museum, you ask? To get it for the museum, and to keep it away from the other jokers who can get their hands on it. Could be dangerous. How about you fucking leave it alone?
Yeah, what if you just help the natives protect it? There's an idea. Just a suggestion.
He adds, turning serious. If your parents knew I brought you along, why did you? Why?
Like I was saying, Joe, I'm not sure about this anymore.
Suddenly you're interrupted by the boat's captain. This is as far as I can go, he says. You and Indy turn to look on the horizon. Off in the distance you see an island. Malakula. There are no shallows here, Indy protests. You can bring the boat closer to the shore. But I won't, the captain insists.
Shouldn't we have figured this out before we set sail?
There's a curse on this island. It's as far as I can go. Turn to page 67.
Did we get suddenly a new boat captain?
I'm the captain now.
Or did the one that picked us up in New York and has been there for over 2 weeks not seem to think, hey, maybe I should let them know I'm not going to drop them off at the island?
You and Indy are forced to row to shore in a small rubber lifeboat. It flaps out of the water. There we go. Bounces over the high waves and then hits the surface with a loud smack. Hold on to the side, kid. The sea is rough out here, Indy warns. He doesn't have to tell you that!
Whoa! I'm just a little kid. I'm a panther and I don't even have any thumbs!
With every bounce and jolt, you're sure the small lifeboat will tip over and throw you into... Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Good photoshopping, Kristen.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, where were we? With every bounce and jolt, you're sure the small lifeboat will tip over and throw you into the water. And you're right, it does. Aye!
That's the noise that I make when I fall out of boats, too.
You are so shocked you don't even realize that it's you doing the screaming. You pulled into the water and struggle to float to the top. Get to shore! Get to shore! Indy cries, battling the waves up ahead of you. The lifeboat bobs to your right. You look at it, and then the shore. Should you try to swim to the lifeboat or to the shore? All right, please note page 67, Kristen.
67? Well, Indiana Jones told us to swim to shore, right?
Yes.
Listen to your dad.
Listen to the peers. Listen to your peers, rather. To the shore, 77.
I'm not gonna lie, Joe. I think I am making some excellent decisions so far.
I mean, we're not dead, so...
We're not dead. We got shot at by like 10 different people and we're still kicking, so I feel like I'm gonna ace this book.
That is 76. You decide to swim to land. Luckily, the current helps pull you toward the shore. Malakula is
Isn't that not how that works?
No, the current, the waves lapping against the shore, it would push you forward, wouldn't it?
I guess it depends on how close you are to
Although,
the shore. I feel like at the beach, if you get too far out, all of a sudden you're like way floating far. Like Osaka in that one episode of Azumanga.
I was going to say,
she continually floats waiting for her drink from the vending machine.
I was going to say, the Camel Beach in the wave pool, and I thought I was going to die when I got too far out and the waves kept fucking sucking me inward.
Yeah, they had to stop the wave pool at Camel Beach because I was stuck in there. And a lifeguard had to pull me out.
Hey, at least it wasn't Action Park. At least you're not dead.
Yeah. I watched that whole video on about Action Park, and it's maybe the scariest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I love Action Park, Kristen. And just reading the Wikipedia page. This was something I knew even before, like, watching the Defunctland video and stuff on it.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it until I watched that.
Oh my god, Action Park is just... The Wikipedia page is a treat. If you don't... I
keep meaning to ask Mom if she had heard about it.
Traction Park, Class Action Park, all amazing. Love it.
Be electrocuted with the bumper boats park.
What were we doing?
Die in a loop-de-loop tube park.
Gasping for air, you pull yourself onto the beach. You crawl forward a few feet and collapse onto the sand. A few minutes later...
There's a crab there. You stick the whole thing in your mouth for nutrition. It goes down hard.
Shell and all. Good fiber.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is it?
Roughage.
No, capsaicin isn't right, is it? No, capsaicin is spicy.
I have no idea.
Keratin?
If you eat a shell, I'm assuming it's like eating teeth.
Yeah, I think that's a correct instinct.
A few minutes later, Indy is standing over you, shaking the water from his pistol, his bullwhip wrapped around his shoulder. He's just shaking out his pistol.
I hope the safety's on. And that's not his pistol, that belonged to a cop.
He pulls you up to your feet and starts to drag you toward the trees on the edge of the beach. Suddenly he stops. Uh-oh, he says quietly. We have visitors. Turn to page 78.
Okay. Joe?
Yes.
If they're natives, they're not visitors because they live there.
Semantics!
No, Joe. Fact.
Still trying to catch your breath, you look up to see a large group of natives approaching.
Whoa!
You're the visitors, thank you.
Yes!
It's just like calling aliens when you're on their planet.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
They are heavily armed with long spears and bows and arrows. They move together as if they were accustomed to protecting their island from intruders. Be alert, kid, Indy says. We may be in for a fight. Alright, Kristen, please note page 78.
78.
I think this would be a very easy way to die.
Maybe we'll try it then.
If you decide to reason with them, oh no, I don't want to go with that. That is high potential to be incredibly racist.
Yeah, you're the one with the book. I can do whatever I want.
True. If you decide to reason with them, turn to page 91. If you decide to better run to the jungle. If you decide to do that, turn the page. If you decide to stand and fight, turn to page 40. Are you a coward, Kristen? Are you a diplomat? Or are you a badass?
The options are reason,
yes,
run, and
yes.
fight.
Yes.
Well...
Time to fight. Turn to page 40. You're probably dead. Let's see.
I think it'll be fine.
40. We're only outnumbered 30-2, Indy says, his eye surveying the approaching natives. Let's give him a fight. He pulls his bullwhip off his shoulder and raises it into the air. What should I do? You ask, shivering in your wet clothes. Here's a gun, kid. Head for the trees on the far edge of this beach, Indy says. I'll fight him off as long as I can. Then I'll join you. We'll lose him in the jungle. You take off, running as fast as you can toward the low, bent trees on the edge of the sand. Indy cracks his whip in the air, but the natives move in. They know that Indy doesn't stand a chance against them. Crack! Crack, crack, crack! Crack, 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 crack! Rifle fire! The natives don't have guns! Who's firing the rifle? Turn to page 53. So you're not dead. Amazingly, there are all these situations where you could very easily die and you are not dead.
Seems like it's going good so far. It's really too bad that I didn't pick the reason with them, because I made something that I think would probably be appropriate.
We'll come back to it. Oh, here we go. Love it. You guys like sports? How about them Knicks?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I've been producing a lot of original content so far.
Suddenly, half a dozen men dressed in green army uniforms carrying automatic rifles burst out of the jungle. The natives
Nazis.
The natives are taken by surprise. Two of them fall on the ground as the men in green uniforms open... Oh my god. Open fire.
Ah!
Aren't they supposed to be protecting the island?
Yeah, from the people who live there.
The natives quickly retaliate with their bows and arrows. You and Indy don't wait to You and Indy don't wait to see the outcome of this battle. You turn and run into the trees, then push your way back through the thick, tall grass and leafy vines into the darkness of the Malakula jungle. Who were those men? You ask Indy, doing your best to keep up with him. Probably mercenaries, Indy says without stopping. My guess is they were hired by someone who wants the idol, too. Soon you come to a river. We could reach Professor Ravenwood's excavation if we follow the river, Indy says. A small canoe lies on the sandy bank. Grab the canoe, Indy says. It'll get us downriver faster than walking.
Why don't you do it?
No. Let's walk, you say. I've had enough of water travel. Maybe we'll be safer on land. Kristen, please mark page 53.
53?
We've made a lot of options, too, in this book. Who the R.L. Stein? Good on you, R.L. Stein. You're better than fucking whoever was writing the gem ones.
It's interactive, at least. Even if I don't actually... I don't have, like, a quantifiable proof of how much progress we're making.
That's true. This could be all roads lead to Rome at the end.
Yeah.
If you go by canoe, turn to page 108. If you go by land, turn to page 66, Kristen.
Canoe.
I agree. 66. No, wait.
I'm a little page boy panther. What the fuck do I know?
108. Let's see. The Indiana Jones theme, by the way, is much longer than I thought, because I only know the ba-ba-da-ba,
I mean, it is on a 10-hour loop. And you know what the worst part of this is? I can't hear it, so I just have silence like usual. You have a nice soundtrack to what you're doing.
Come on, sport, Indy says, giving... What, did he turn into Grandpa from Rugrats?
Well, we don't have a name, remember?
True, yes, you are just Panther.
Has it mentioned if we're a boy or a girl?
No.
In the actual text?
No.
Because clearly, I guess I'm making some assumptions here if I say that the person on the cover has to be a little boy.
Yeah, you don't really know. They are dressed like a page boy, but I don't know what women's fashion...
That could be a tiny girl with short hair.
It could be. Come on, sport, Indy says, giving you a little shove toward the canoe. This river is as gentle as a bathtub. Before you know it, you're sitting across from him, watching the gentle water flow by as he rows downriver. Watching the gentle water flow faster. Starting to churn. Starting to get choppier and choppier.
I don't trust adults.
Suddenly the canoe flies into the air and falls back down on the water with a loud slap. Indy says. Must be an ocean inlet or something. I've never seen a river that... He doesn't finish his sentence because the canoe tips over!
Whoa!
Turn to page 114, you might be dead.
Whitewater Rapids.
This might be it, Kristen.
Like Animal Kingdom.
That's Kali River Rapids, I believe.
I know!
I'm just saying.
It's the only ride I remember from that.
You're swimming for your life again! Take a deep breath and struggle to stay on top of the tossing waves. The current...
our underwear is never going to be dry for the rest of this book.
The current sweeps you downriver. You're pulled underwater, struggle to the surface again, and sputter for air. This is even faster than riding the canoe! Indy calls from 50 yards away.
See, he's loving it. He is also an adult-sized man. You were probably 3 feet tall.
Very funny. You hope you'll be alive to laugh about it later.
Why didn't we bring water wingies?
In the 1930s?
Yeah.
Then, before you realize what's happening, the waves die down.
Well, why didn't we just bring our smartphones, Joe? Google Maps, figure it out.
Why didn't the Eagles fly them to Mount Doom, Kristen?
I don't know. I asked myself that too when I watched the Indiana Jones movies.
Then, before you realize what's happening, the waves die down and the current slows. The water becomes gentle again. We're gonna make it, you yell. We're gonna make it! Then...
Oh, we spoke too soon?
You see crocodiles swimming toward you.
Yay!
Kristen, please, if you don't mind, look into for me,
Are there crocodiles in...
No, are crocodiles... What is the difference between them? That one's saltwater?
Differences between...
crocodile and alligator.
Crocodiles and alligators. Let's see.
What stopped...
Give me a bullet point list, please.
What stopped Killer Croc from becoming Killer Alligator? Is all I want to know.
That I can't tell you. I know one of them is the nose shape. Let's see.
Is it all very scientific stuff in the list that you're looking at?
Teeth. Crocodiles tend to live in saltwater habitats while alligators hang out in fresh water.
If it's an ocean inlet, I can believe it. Turn to page 69.
That alligators would be there?
That crocodiles would be there.
Crocodiles, okay. I already forgot which one it said there were.
I think we arrived at dinner time, Indy says, paddling from side to side in the water. You can tell he's trying to figure out how to maneuver away from the approaching crocs, but the crocs don't give him much room to maneuver. Jaws stretching open to reveal several miles of jagged teeth. A crocodile leaps at Indy. Indy dives backward, and the huge jaws clamp shut on nothing but air. You duck and dodge as several crocs discover you. You swim away from them, but they come sliding after you. The lead croc is right behind you now and gaining, its jaws wide open. You splash and sputter, turning to face it. Suddenly, Indy lifts a giant croc up in both hands and tosses it!
At me?
The croc lands on top of the croc about to attack you. The two crocs scramble in the water, stunned and angry. They fight each other. Good research, R.L. Stein. I agree. Mm-hmm. I like your fancy Photoshop fonts. I should learn how to do things like this.
I'm literally just on a website that's generating them for me.
Damn it!
I typed into, like, text GIF generator on Google.
At least it looks okay.
Yeah.
You hear the snap of their jaws as you swim to shore. You made it! But has Indy managed to escape the crocs too? Turn to page 51.
We turn around. He's wearing a crocodile on his head. Because it's swallowing his entire head.
I wonder how many of these endings involve either you dying or Indiana Jones dying and you realizing that you're going to die without Indiana Jones's help.
That would make sense to me because I don't know how much this book would want to show a kid dying.
There is a illustration on the left side here, Kristen. It is a man, a silhouette of a man bathed in moonlight, and you and Indy are looking at him, and Indy has his pistol drawn. So, there we go.
Action. I
like a refreshing swim before dinner, Indy says, pulling himself out of the water, especially if I'm not the dinner. Too bad you didn't bring your camera, cuz, C-U-Z, you'd have some exciting shots to take home to Mom and Dad. Are you kidding? You cry. If my parents knew what I was doing right now, they'd kill me! Don't say kill, says Indy. We have worse foes to face than those hungry crocs. It's evening now. The sun seems to drop down from the sky in seconds, leaving you in darkness. Oh, it was still daytime? Shit. Alright.
Whatever.
You continue to walk down around the curving banks of the river. The jungle gives way to low, grassy hills, and in one of the taller hills you see a black opening cut out of the dirt. Professor Ravenwood's excavation. We're here, kid, Indy says, wiping his forehead and looking at the back of his hand. With the back of his hand, I don't know where I got look from there. Looks like no one's home, and at least they didn't leave a light on for us. But Indy is wrong. You hear footsteps. Someone calls out to you. You see a tall figure approaching in the darkness. Indy grabs his pistol. Should he shoot or not? Ooh, baby!
Shoot!
Kristen, please mark page 51.
Sorry, I'm in Photoshop again.
Please mark page 51. Thank you. If you think Indy should shoot, turn to page 21. If you think
I've already made my decision.
All right, 21 it is. You there! The man's voice cries. Stop! Indy draws his pistol. He raises it and tries to aim in the dark. Zing! Zing.
Zing?
Indy's pistol flies out of his hand. The man is shot first. He is obviously not a friend. Who is he? And what does he want? Turn to page 76. Hands up in the air, the man calls, drawing close enough so that you can see who it is. It's one of the mercenaries in the green uniforms. This was easier than I thought, he says with a laugh. I don't want to make this too easy for you, Indy says as he punches the man in the stomach. The man falls forward, dropping
He got close enough to let him punch him in the stomach?
Indy lands another punch, and another. The man falls to the ground. The game is over, Jones! A voice calls from behind. Let's see here. Wonderful Photoshop work, Kristen.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
This is what my art degree got me. Let's see if I can get this. There we go.
The game is over! The game is over, Jones! A voice yells from behind you. Fall to the ground or I'll kill you both! You turn around to see that the rest of the mercenaries have surrounded you. Their automatic rifles are all pointed at you. You both fall to the ground. Turn to page 102.
So these mercenaries are just, child killers also?
We're reasonable men, the leader of the mercenary group says, his rifle trained on you.
I don't think so.
His rifle trained on you. We will not kill you until after you show us where the dove is hidden.
We just got here.
Great sense of humor, Indy mutters, raising his head from the grass.
Let us find our hotel first.
Why do you want the dove? Don't concern yourself with such details, the mercenary says, clearly not knowing himself, clearly.
It's because he loves birds. He's a bird lover.
Princess Mercenary Lovebird.
Princess Mercenary Lovebird.
Giving Indy a hard kick in the ribs. Don't worry. The museum that hired us will know what to do with the bird. Suddenly you hear strange cries coming from inside the excavation. The eerie sounds, almost human, float on the wind, then fade. Hey, maybe there really is a curse on this place, says one of the mercenaries. Maybe the natives are right. Maybe there are evil spirits on the prowl, says another. These guys aren't so tough, Indy whispers to you. Get ready. Let's make a run for it. Has Indy lost his mind? There are 5 automatic rifles aimed at your heads! Please note page 102, Kristen.
Oh, sorry, what page?
102.
I thought I heard 42 for some reason.
If you decide to make a run for it, turn to page 115. If you think that Indy is being a little foolhardy and you should wait for a better opportunity, turn to page 39. Indy gets one more chance.
He gets one more chance.
115. This is so far in the book. Not an ending, though. Damn. Indy leaps to his feet and throws a handful of wet dirt in the eyes of the mercenary.
Yeah!
Pocket sand.
Fuji dirt.
He lowers his shoulder and plows into another mercenary, knocking him into the 2 others. You run towards the excavation, tripping in the dark, crawling part way. You hear Indy's footsteps behind you. You can hear the rat-a-tat-tat of automatic rifle fire. The bullets fly around you. You are getting shot at a lot. Wow.
This little kid is having the best summer vacation ever.
Run through the darkness toward the even darker opening of the excavation. The mercenaries keep firing in your direction, but they can't see you in the dark. You reach the opening of the excavation, and you leap inside. The ground is cold and soft. You're in a large, empty chamber. Empty except for the eerie cries in the distance. Empty except for the loud flapping noise you begin to hear. The sound of killer bats whose rest has been disturbed!
No!
Turn to page 3. Turn to page 3. Hit the dirt! Indy screams. Lie perfectly still. You do just as he says. The flapping wings grow nearer. Nearer. The chamber fills with a high-pitched squeal. The killer bats are right overhead now. They fly over you, out the entrance of the excavation, and into the night, where they encounter the mercenaries pursuing you. Aye!
Again.
You hear the cries of horror as the killer bats attack the killer bats, Kristen.
You know.
I've heard of Killer Croc, but killer bats.
Sorry, I'm still doing some Photoshop work. I'm listening, though.
Nasty little beasts, aren't they? Indy says, climbing to his feet and pulling you up. Let's not wait around for them to return. If I remember the map right, there should be a nice quiet chamber just beyond the tunnel where we can spend the night. Exhausted, you follow Indy into the chamber. He
memorized the map. We don't have a map.
You lie down on the dirt floor and are asleep in seconds. What will the morning bring? Turn to page 4.
I'm gonna have to go ahead and condemn, Indy's choice to bring you here again.
Oh, nice. El Culto de Jim.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Kristen, can you tell me what music video that screenshot is from?
Well, that looks like a film reel in the back. We can change it?
It's Who Is He Kissing?
Damn it! Oh, I see kissy lips there.
Kissy lips on the wall.
The gun is also from that video. I didn't actually edit this at all.
El Culto de Gem. My favorite cult.
I need to mute and blow my nose again. So go ahead and start reading.
Sunlight trickles down into the underground chamber as morning comes. You pull yourself to your feet, feeling stiff and not very well rested. How about some scrambled eggs and sausage, Indy asks. Sounds good to me.
Fuck you!
Sounds good to me, you say, your eyes opening wide in anticipation. Sounds good to me, too, Indy says. We'll have to eat some when we get back to the... I hate this guy!
When
we get back to the States. The two of you spend the morning searching the tunnel.
They don't have eggs here.
They
don't exist. They haven't invented them yet.
There are no birds on this island other than the ebony bird. The two of you spend the morning searching through the tunnels and caverns of the excavation, searching for the dove's hiding place. At last, Indy thinks he's found it. He pulls a rock out of the side of an excavation wall and reaches into the hole. A bird in the hand.
Sorry.
Yes, please, Kristen.
So you just said ebony dove.
Yes.
And we're sure it's ebony.
Yes.
Aren't doves white?
Made of ebony.
Aren't doves white?
Yes, doves are white. How do we know it's a dove if it's made of ebony? I do not know, Kristen.
How do we know it's not like a weirdly cute crow?
A goose.
Yeah! Perhaps a goose. Okay, I'm sorry.
Perhaps a Shooter McGavin.
I knew you were gonna say that!
A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the museum, he cries, pulling out the ebony dove. Oh shit, you have it, okay.
What? What? Hold on.
You just have it, I guess. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the museum. Why can't... Oh, the Maltese falcon. That's what I wanted to reference. Okay, there we go. That's what this is.
Cool, I don't know what you're talking about.
The Maltese falcon is a movie about a bird. Semantics.
Never heard of it.
I watched maybe It's a classic movie that I watched maybe 40 minutes of before I got bored.
Sounds amazing.
As he holds up the ancient sculpture to show it to you, the eerie cries that you heard in the night before grew louder. Is this dove really cursed? Is that an evil spirit crying out to you? Turn to page 12.
Did that sound evil enough? That just sounds like an Angus. No, it's a cat. I fed them so they would leave me alone while I was streaming.
Risotto was in my room. I don't know where she is now. The cat at my house.
Meow.
Hang on to my
Good girl.
The frightening cries, like some kind of ghostly crowing, echo off the dirt walls in the excavation chamber. Let's get out of here, you say. Where's your sense of adventure, kid? Indy asks. We have to find out what's making that awful racket. No!
We had guns pointed at us.
You do not.
So many times.
Sense of adventure? You've had enough adventure to last you the rest of your life. But Indy insists on following the sound. You walk through a long tunnel. The cries
we don't even get a choice there.
The cries become louder and louder. You enter a vast chamber to see what's making these eerie sounds.
It's possessed!
Chickens.
Eggs do exist!
Chickens and roosters.
Eggs!
Indy tosses his hair in the air and laughs. This is the only time you've ever seen him laugh. This is the ancient curse. This is the ancient curse, he cries. These are the evil spirits. Chickens! Okay, can we go now, you ask impatiently? We have one problem, says Indy. The natives of this place are going to be waiting outside for us. And as you recall, they're not too friendly. How are we going to get...
We don't know that for sure yet.
How are we going to get us and this blackbird past them? Nice egg. Good egg.
Swallow it!
No,
how big is the bird, did it say?
I'm sorry. I failed to mention there was a very, very tiny illustration of Indy with the Maltese falcon in his hands, and it's
how big is it?
You can hold it in one hand. Well, you can you could grip it in one hand. It's like a smaller than one of your baton trophies.
Okay, so maybe swallow it.
30.
No, Joe. I need your opinion on this.
Swallow the trophy?
Do you think you could swallow it?
No.
Okay.
I think you might
Up the butt?
It is sort of phallic. From the...
Okay! That sounds like a yes. So, we got it solved. Or else I'm way ahead of you.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Kristen, there's at the end at the bottom of this page.
Oh.
As you reach the main entrance of the excavation, Indy says, I've got an idea. You both peer out of the opening and see that the natives have gathered at the bottom of the hill. Let me do the talking, Indy says. He steps out of the excavation. A cry of surprise rises from the natives below. The surprise turns to anger. The natives begin to move uphill. This doesn't look promising, Indy says, watching as the natives approach. Then one of the natives sees the ebony dove in Indy's hands. The natives begin to murmur as more see what Indy is holding. The murmurs become loud cheers. The natives stand and applaud. The cheers and applause echo...
The white man did
it! White savior!
Yeah!
White savior! The cheers and applause echo in the hills for miles around. You and Indy are heroes for braving the evils of the dark chambers, for challenging the curse of Malakula, and for removing the dove, a symbol of evil for these jungle people. Indy suddenly has an inspiration. He runs back into the excavation. A few moments later, he's back, shooing out hundreds of chickens and roosters, a present for the Malakulans. The Malakulans promise to row you to New Guinea, where you can begin your trip home. But first you spend the day celebrating over a dinner of roast chicken. The end. The end.
Yay!
I like how you get just half a second of Daenerys in that gift.
Yep. It's the best one I can find.
There's an illustration on this page of the natives cheering as you and Indy are standing at the end of the cave.
I like how he said he was going to talk to them and then just didn't. Which I guess is preferable because I swear to God I kept expecting it to be like, you hear them murmuring and you hear some clicking noises.
Oh no.
So far this book has been only slightly less racist than the Gem books with how they treated Aja.
Saying that she was going to do a sweet kung fu kick.
Always doing kung fu. Yeah, you know, like Aja always does.
What was our last page where we had to make a choice, Kristen?
102.
102.
So we're not going to run this time.
It is... Yes, if you think Indy is being a little foolhardy, you should wait for... No, wait, we had to have made it... Right? Was 102 the last one? Really?
I don't remember making another one. Because we ran away and then we fell asleep, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay. I thought that we did something in the cave. Or like that we couldn't... That we had to make a choice to not look for the chickens. 39.
Wait. So, is the thing that the natives were afraid of chickens?
That they're chicken?
I didn't want you to say something like that, and you went and did it anyway.
I was gonna check real quick, because I could have sworn that we made a decision. 4, 12... 12, no, 30... 30... No, you're right. So 102. If you just 39, then is where we are going. 39. We don't need their help, one of the mercenaries... Excuse me, we don't need their help, one of the mercenaries cries. Our map will lead us to the Dove in the morning. Let's kill these two now before they cause any more trouble. Okay, the leader agrees. Oh no.
Oh no.
Their rifles blaze, interrupting the quiet of the jungle night. It crosses your mind that you made a bad decision here.
We didn't want to run, so we got shot to death.
With Indiana Jones around, it's always better to act than wait, but unfortunately, you thought of this too late. Your adventure has come to a painfully abrupt end.
Joe, did I one-shot this Choose Your Own Adventure book?
You may have. I think Kristen R.L. Stein was of the same mind where let's listen to Indiana Jones is the way to go.
You're a child, don't trust your own judgment. Is this propaganda for parents?
What was the page before 102, Kristen?
51.
51.
So we're not going to shoot.
If you think you should wait and see who it is, I have a feeling this is going to end with you getting shot.
Who is it?
Hands up in the air! The man calls, drawing close enough that you can see who it is. It's one of the mercenaries in the green uniforms. This is easier than I thought, he says with a laugh. I don't want to make... Wait.
Isn't that what happened last time?
Wait.
Except Indian's gun got shot out of his hand?
He didn't shoot the gun into your hand, so wait a minute. What?
Did this choice not matter?
Wait a minute, this choice might not matter. Turn to page 21. 21 goes to 76. 21 goes to 76. Wait, 21 goes to 76, and while we're on 51, the other option was 76, so it did not matter.
Well, okay. So I guess we're going back another choice, right?
Yes.
So 53. We're gonna walk.
53. By land, go to page 66. There are too many bends and turns in this river, Indy says, looking downstream. Maybe we'd just better walk along the shoreline after all. Oh wow, so you are technically following Indiana Jones.
Oh.
You follow a path that leads downriver. After a mile or so, it veers into the jungle. You have no choice but to follow it. I think we're getting near the site of the excavation, Indy says. Suddenly you hear a sound like footsteps. Hundreds of them. The jungle floor seems to tremble and vibrate.
A sound like footsteps, or the sound of footsteps?
A sound like footsteps.
If it turns out to be footsteps, then I'm going to be a little bit annoyed.
Have the Malakulan natives found you already? Have the mercenaries tracked you down? You step into a clearing. The other end you see what is making the jungle floor bounce. Wild,
An elephant.
Wild boars!
That was close.
And they're stampeding toward you. Turn to page 81.
This is just like Island of Deception.
Those were elephants, Kristen.
It's just like Island of Deception.
81. The air turns brown with the dust of the wild...
No!
As the wild boars come at you. You stand at the edge of the clearing, not knowing which way to move. Seems to be rush hour, Indy says, looking desperately for an escape route. He pulls out his pistol. Maybe I could stop him. Maybe I could...
Are you serious?
Maybe if I could stop the leaders, the rest will turn around, he says grimly. It's a slim chance, but... Just then you spot a long vine hanging from a tree limb over your heads. Why don't we climb up onto the vine and let them run under us, you ask. The vine looks weakened, he says, testing it with his eyes. You're not as light as you think you know. Hey, buddy.
Whoa.
You must decide what to do. Fast. All right, Kristen, should Indy shoot the lead board?
You must decide what to do, fat.
Please mark page 81, by the way. Are you going to shoot at the board or are you going to climb the vine?
He made me feel bad, so let's use a gun.
Shoot first. 5. Indy pulls out his pistol, aims carefully and fires. The little gun goes ping! How could Indy bring down such huge beasts with that little pistol? But the pistol works. The lead board drops to its knees. To its knees? Do boars have knees?
I don't think so.
I mean, like, not knees.
I mean, like the same way that, like, any four-legged animal has, like, a joint.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it means that it kind of slides forward, I guess, on its knees.
It, like, flops down, like, no.
Kinda. Raises its ugly head and utters a final cry of agony. Ping! A second wild boar falls, then a third. The boars slow down. They seem confused.
Does final cry of agony mean we killed it?
I'm assuming you're killing these boars, Kristen.
What the fuck?
The boars slow down. They seem confused. Some run off to the right, some to the left. Maybe, just maybe, Indy's plan is working. Yes, the boars turn. They're running away from the clearing. Suddenly, you hear human cries on the other side of the clearing. The Malakulan natives have found you, and now they're directly in the path of the stampeding boars. You close your eyes. Oh no, you close your eyes. You cannot keep their screams from your ears. But at least you could shut out the sight of their hideous deaths.
What the fuck?
Well, maybe we can make our way to the excavation in peace and quiet now, Indy says, thankfully not making a joke.
Instead, being stone cold about all those people we just accidentally killed?
But he doesn't know what awaits you on page 13.
13.
You walk along the narrow jungle path until you come to an area of low hills. Look,
How is that not an ending? I don't feel good about this.
Look, an opening, you cry, pointing toward the tallest hill. That must be the excavation. You win the prize, kid, says Indy. Let's climb up and take a look. As you start up the hill, you hear a frightening sound, halfway between a roar and a shriek.
How was that?
That was good, thank you.
You're welcome.
You look up to see a large, furry beast at the entrance to the excavation. Oh, baby. Suddenly,
It's me!
It sees you, throws back its head, and shrieks again. Holy moly, mutters Indy. The creatures on this island really are cursed. Just then, you see a tunnel cut into the hill. Let's duck in here, kid. Maybe we can avoid our friend up there. You climb into the tunnel. As your eyes begin to adjust to the dark, you hear a soft rustling right next to you, and then you see it. A huge scorpion! A rat scorpion!
Scorpions rustle?
And it's heading straight for you. Turn to page 64.
I'm just bored of all this nature now.
The scorpion races toward you. You duck away. It just misses your face. Using the handle of his
Did it fly at you? Like someone threw it at your head?
Using the handle of his bullwhip, Indy smashes the huge scorpion before it can come after you again. You catch your breath for a moment.
What's a little bit more murder? We've already killed humans.
Take it easy, kid, Indy says soothingly. You would have lived for at least another 15 minutes if that scorpion had bitten you. Wow. Cool, thanks.
Yeah, how about you just traumatize me further?
Thanks, Indy, you manage to say, and the two of you make your way into the dark tunnel, following it as it curves into a large chamber. Suddenly you hear another loud howl. You jump back against the dirt wall in fright. The giant beast creature has found you.
Do we not know what it is?
No, I guess not. Turn to page 82. Oh, there is a illustration on this page. I forgot what the word illustration was for a second there.
A picture.
A picture of of a dude basically going
Good.
with his hands up in the air and like his fingers all wiggling.
I love it.
The creature rears up on its hind legs and howls. Its gigantic head looks like... No, it's a mask! In the darkness of the excavation chamber, it's impossible to see clearly, but you're almost certain that the creature howling before you is not an animal at all, but a man in a costume. Suddenly the beast lunges toward you with an...
This is just like Island of Deception.
Suddenly
What's his name? Sean Bean.
Oh my god. No, not him. Not Mr. Bean.
Not Mr. Bean. It's Rowan Atkinson.
But you're almost certain that the creature howling before you is not an animal. Yeah, okay. Suddenly the beast lunges toward you with an angry growl. A massive fur-covered paw swipes at you as you fall backward. Indy raises his pistol.
Is it a paw or is it a hand?
It's probably a hand. He's
Come
not...
on.
Indy raises his pistol should he shoot or not. So please mark page 82, Kristen.
I got a taste of it and now I can't stop.
Please turn to page 96. Get back! Indy yells. But the creature does not retreat. Get back or I'll shoot! The creature responds with an angry roar as it leaps at Indy. Indy fires his pistol once. Twice. The creature immediately stops roaring and slumps to the dirt floor. I'm shot! The creature says softly in a very human voice, a voice filled with surprise.
Yeah, no shit, idiot!
It's a man in a costume, just as you had suspected. The man weighs at least 400 pounds. Damn!
Whoa!
What the fuck? You and Indy pull off his mask and recognize him immediately. Higgins! He cries. What happened? Why are you here? Why are you dressed like this? Professor Ravenwood will come for me soon, Higgins says, eyes rolling. Professor Ravenwood will not leave me here. He will not leave me in these dark tunnels. He will come for me soon. He's delirious, Indy says to you. He must have gone mad, trapped here in the excavation all these years. How badly is he injured, you ask? I don't know. But
well, we shot him like 3 times, so...
But Indy doesn't have time to examine Higgins. The mercenaries followed you into the chamber. Turn to page 116.
I'm not sure how many more plot twists I can handle.
Back away from there, slowly, Jones, the leader of the mercenaries says.
What? The corpse that we just laid upon the dirt?
Holding his automatic rifle in front of him. It's time for you to lead us to the Dove. Professor Ravenwood will be back for the Dove, Higgins cries in a voice growing weaker by the moment. He will come back for me. Back away, Jones, fast! The mercenary cries.
He's gonna blow!
Fingering the trigger of his rifle.
Whoa!
Gross.
Yuck.
The other mercenaries aim their rifles at you too. You and Indy start to back away from the giant Higgins who lies bleeding at your feet. Love lies bleeding.
Is now a time to be criticizing him for his size? Come on.
Suddenly,
he's dying.
Suddenly Higgins lifts his right arm. He reaches for the wall. His hand tightens around something. A lever! He pulls it.
Go!
Kristen, the mercenaries are going to scream here, and I'm going to give you one guess what they say.
Aya!
Aye!
Aye!
The mercenaries scream as the floor opens up beneath them. The lever has opened a huge trap door. The mercenaries fall and the floor closes above them. Oh my god,
the man we shot saved!
You've murdered so many people!
Those ones had guns.
Higgins has saved your lives. You rush over to see how badly he's injured. You and Indy pull away.
We shot him 3 times.
You and Indy pull away Higgins' furry disguise. My costume, Higgins says weakly. I wore it to keep everyone away. I'm waiting for Professor Ravenwood. I have the Dove. I know he wants it. His wounds are not serious. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Say the goddamn words. Indy tells him, we'll get you to the mainland to a doctor. Professor Ravenwood, Higgins mutters. Get me to Professor Ravenwood! Get me to Rowena Ravenclaw!
Oh my god, I can't stop having the thought floating in my head of, I wear the costume to keep people away, is what I say when I'm at conventions cosplaying and I've had too much to drink. Just get away from me!
Where is the Dove? Indy asks. I have it here! I carry it in my costume!
He's dying and we're like, tell me where the drugs are! What's the password?
He attempts to sit up, but he's too weak. He reaches into his costume of pieced together furs. Oh no! No! He pulls out a handful of black wood chips. When I fell, I crushed it! Higgins cries. The priceless...
This guy's having the worst day. He's having a really bad day.
The priceless ebony dove is now mostly splinters. You and Indy look at each other. You've come a long way and faced many dangers to get this. Splinters. It could have been worse, kid, Indy says. You could have been the one to break it. Let's get out of this place. I feel real...
That man's dying!
I feel real homesick all of a sudden. The end. The end.
Indiana Jones is so flippant. To the point where I am concerned about him.
I guess we're going back to page 82 here.
So, maybe not. Maybe not in retrospect.
Turn to page 41.
I mean, I had a thirst for murder, and I sure got a lot of murder.
There's a nice 2-page gatefold here of Indiana Jones punching a crocodile, by the way.
Nice. Hang on.
Just gonna put the image back in there.
Wait, hang on. I must copy it from up here since it's already the right size.
Get back! Indy yells. Get back or I'll shoot! The furry giant freezes, then backs away. He lifts a big paw and removes the grotesque mask from his face. Do I know you? The man asks. Higgins! Indy cries. What the... Is that you, Jones? Higgins shouts, a wide grin over his big, hairless head. What took you so long? I've been trapped here for 5 whole years!
So he's not insane this time?
Well, he got shot before, so, you know.
Oh, that made him delirious?
But why? Indy asks. And where did you rent the snazzy bear costume? I had to come up with a way to keep the Malakulans out of the excavation, Higgins explains. I was protecting the ebony dove. I knew the Professor Ravenwood would come back for it. And for me. You have the dove? Indy asks. Come, I'll show it to you, Higgins says, lumbering slowly toward the other side of the chamber. You begin to follow him, but suddenly you hear a loud rumbling. You look up. The chamber of the ceiling is falling!
Whoa!
The ceiling of the chamber, excuse me. Turn to page 55. Higgins freezes in terror. You begin to run towards the exit. Don't stop, Higgins! Get the dove! Indy cries. He picks up a wooden support beam from where it has fallen and props it up against the ceiling. Hurry! This isn't gonna hold for long! Indy yells as the dirt falls around him. I've got the dove! Higgins cries. Okay, let's get out of here! Indy yells. The three of you run to the opening at the far side of the excavation chamber and out into the daylight. Thank you for doing our work for us, a voice cries out. You can hand over the dove now. You stare at 6 mercenary soldiers with their automatic rifles poised. Turn to page 113.
How did we get the dove the first time?
Indiana Jones found it in a wall.
Okay. Sure.
Hand over the dove, Jones! The leader of the mercenaries yells, reaching for it. Don't
Here,
worry.
I did another.
Oh, do I gotta... Oh. Wow, Kristen, how did you get a colorized picture of the thing from this book?
That's exactly what it looked like, right? Also, that looks a lot like the alligator from Happy Gilmore to me, but I'm not sure.
That one's missing an eye, please remember.
Oh, you're right.
Hand over the dove, Jones! The leader of the mercenaries yells, reaching for it. Don't worry, you'll get a nice reward. A thank you note from the museum that hired us. Indy grabs the dove out of grabs the dove out of Higgins' hands. If you clowns want the dove, you'll have to come get it, Indy yells. He runs back into the excavation site. The mercenaries can't decide what to do for the moment. The mercenaries have their own Find Your Fate book that they gotta...
Whoa! They're making their own decision. Their parallel universe Kristen is photoshopping some stuff right now.
Then they rush into the dark cavern after him. Will anyone come out alive? Turn to page 68. 68. You run up to the opening of the excavation, appear into the darkness, trying desperately to see what happens. Drop the dove, Jones, or die in this cave, the mercenary leader yells. Indy runs over to the wooden beam that is holding the ceiling up. He pulls the beam away from the ceiling and heaves it at the mercenaries. 2 of them are knocked to the ground. Indy runs toward... Oh my god, Indy's gonna crush these fucking poor people.
Why not, at this point?
Indy runs towards the excavation opening. The whole ceiling is collapsing now. The roar is deafening. You hear the screams of the men inside as tons of dirt fall down on him. The screams die quickly, and there is silence.
It's okay, they punched their way out.
Where's Indy? Was he trapped in there too? He crawls out of the darkness and stands up, holding the precious ebony dove to you. I knew this was going to be a dirty job, he says, but I didn't know how dirty! Ready to go home, kid? I guess so, you say with a big smile. But I have a hunch that home is going to be a little bit boring after this. The end.
So we killed a bunch of people and then went home.
Killed a lot of people. Kristen, what is the previous page to, I'm guessing, 52?
Hang on 1 second. I made some improvements to that last image.
Did you not get one that was quite so bad looking? No,
what? Okay. How dare you, first of all?
Well, no, I mean, no, the picture of Indiana Jones looks bad. It's all...
oh, it was really low quality.
JPEG
where the hell did I save this to? I don't know where oh, did I save it into downloads? Desktop. Just give me 1 minute. This is what I use my college degree for. There we go. Now it's the Happy Gilmore alligator.
Why is Carl Weathers' Chubbs not in the this off to the side?
Joe, I can only type in object transparent into Google so many times.
I don't know if Carl Weathers' Chubbs. Oh no, I might be making a mistake.
I can't remember. What was the last decision we made? Okay, we either kill people or not, so we did that. We did the canoe. Was always listen to adults. That was the canoe. So, okay, 78.
It would have been before the canoe, yeah, whatever was before that.
So we're gonna do another interaction with them natives.
Oh, yes. So we stood and fought with them.
Let's try talking.
Try to reason with them. Turn to page 91.
I'm just gonna get this ready now.
Let me handle this, kid, Indy says, stepping forward to greet the approaching natives. I've been studying their language. At least I think it's their language. Oh, no.
See? I was ready. How did I know?
Indy raises both hands to show that he doesn't intend to fight, and he calls out to the leader of the group and says a few words in a strange language. The natives stare at the two of you in silence, their weapons poised. Indy continues to talk to them, gesturing with his hands as he talks. He's Italian.
Hey Joe, how much do you want to bet he is using the wrong language and it infuriates them?
It sounds like gibberish to you, but the natives listen intently. He finishes talking. You both wait to see how the natives react react to what he has said. Neither of you are prepared for his reaction. They all burst out laughing!
Whoa! Who's the rude one now? We might be trying to steal their shit, but they're laughing at us.
Hey, we didn't have Rosetta Stone in the 1930s, buddy.
Listen, we're doing our best.
Turn to page 110. 110. What did you say to them? You ask Indy as the native army continues to laugh. Indy scratches his head. I think I told him the real reason we came here was to find the ebony dove in the excavation left by Professor Ravenwood. I don't know the language that well, but when the natives stop laughing, their leader beckons for you to follow them. They seem much more relaxed. They carry their weapons jauntily at their sides. And every few steps they burst into laughter. They lead you through the jungle, down a carefully worn path to a village built on the site.
Ooh, let me guess. They've been mass-producing ebony doves.
They, down a carefully worn path to the old excavation. The entrance to the excavation is still intact, and the native soldiers lead you through it, into a vast cavern. It must have been dug by the scientists many years ago. Filling the floor of the cavern, as far as you can see, are hundreds and hundreds of carved ebony doves!
What did I tell you? Call me R.L. Kristen.
That's amazing. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Turn to page 118. Pinch me, kid! I gotta be dreaming! Indy cries. Seeing your surprise, the natives start laughing again. The leader begins to talk rapidly to Indy, who struggles to understand him. Finally, Indy translates for you. The natives discovered the dove down here after Professor Ravenwood fled, he explains. It still held a special power for them. The people of the island decided to duplicate it, to fill the excavation cavern with them. Now there are hundreds of them. Maybe thousands! We're staring at the biggest collection of carved doves in the world. Great, huh, kid?
Are we sure?
There could be some dude in I was gonna say Indiana, but wait a minute.
It's hard to verify that immediately.
What about the original, you ask? Indy shakes his head. It's in there somewhere. Care to start looking for it? I'll join you in a year or two.
Does it matter?
When you start to get bored. You turn down Indy's generous offer. A few hours later, the two of you are on a boat heading for New Guinea. From here, you'll begin your journey back to the United States. Here, have a souvenir, Indy says. He pulls something out of his jacket and tosses it to you. You don't have to look. You know what it is. It's an ebony dove. Indy,
if he was going to steal one, why didn't he steal 10?
Indy, you shouldn't have, he says. I know, he says grumpily. Then he turns to watch the dark ocean waves roll by as your ship heads towards home, bringing a less than successful adventure to the end.
So you spent 4 weeks, mostly on a boat, very wet.
To get a wood carving.
To get nothing, basically.
And there is a... for some reason I can't remember the word illustration. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Picture!
There's a picture of Indy holding an ebony dove above his head and you at his side looking up at it going, yeah!
Yay!
While the rope is on your shoulder. So I guess we are going to run away. 78.
Yes, we are.
We chose cowards last. We are not cowards, Kristen.
No, we're not. We're murderers.
If you decide to run into the jungle, turn to page 106. We haven't seen the panther yet. Oh, that's coming.
Do you think there's actually a panther in this?
Did the cover lie to us, Kristen?
I don't know.
I'll fire my pistol in the air to distract them, Indy says, his eyes scanning the jungle trees beyond the narrow beach. Run to the right, then to the left. Then keep moving from side to serpentine! Serpentine!
Whatever.
With any luck, we'll lose them in the trees. With any luck. The natives approach. Several bow carriers raise their weapons as they walk, pulling arrows from long quivers. Indy reaches into his pocket and pulls his pistol out. He raises it into the air and squeezes the trigger. Click, click, click. Since the ocean water has not done Indy's pistol any good.
Whatever.
That's why you gotta get an AK, Kristen. You could drop that shit in mud and it'll still fire.
Hell yeah!
Now what? Turn to page 72. 72. Ooh, time to mark page 72, Kristen.
Ooh.
Run! Indy screams as he dives right through the line of native soldiers. They fall back, yelling in surprise. You run to the right, zigzagging across the sand. Run! Run! Indy yells from several hundred yards down the beach.
Super brave!
An arrow whizzes past you, narrowly missing your shoulder. Another. Another! You hit the ground, rolling forward in the sand. Get back on your feet, dodge another volley of arrows, roll forward again. Fucking Dark Souls tactics here.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ. So we have 3 options?
I believe it's 2 here.
2.
Can you make it safe? Can you make it to the safety of the trees? As Indy said, it's all a matter of luck. Oh shit, Kristen. All right, here we go. Here's something that we did not get in the gem books. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Ah! What if I don't know how to count? This is too much pressure.
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
I'm gonna not look and just smash a number on my keyboard. No, they're in order, so I would know which one you're picking.
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Ah! 1.
If you picked an odd number, turn to page 86. '86. Ouch!
I got an 86 before?
Ouch! Ouch! Get the point? Sorry to say that's the problem. You did get the point. Several of them. And of course, those arrows were...
Shut up!
And of course, those arrows were poison-tipped. Thank you, R.L. Stein. I'm gonna die a slow and painful death.
A dead child, yay!
Your luck has run out, and so has this adventure. You just have enough time left to read these words. The end.
Okay, so,
Kristen, pick a number between 1 and 10.
9.
That's an odd number. Back to page 86.
8.
97. Okay. You roll one more time, arrows cutting into the air right above you. Then you're on your feet again, leaping from the sand into the trees. Your chest aches. You feel as though your lungs are going to burst, but you've made it. The arrows and
vacation rules.
The arrows and spears cannot penetrate the dense jungle foliage. Where's Indy? Did he make it too?
No.
The natives will soon be in pursuit, and they know this jungle much better than you do. Hey kid, There's no time for hide and seek. It's Indy.
I hate him.
How'd you like to see a shooting gallery from the other side, he asked, guiding you quickly to the low trees.
I hate him so much.
I didn't, you managed to say. The two of you keep running deeper and deeper into the jungle.
You know what I'm missing in these endings?
Yes, Kristen.
The part where Indiana Jones realizes he lured a child to their death. And suddenly feels remorse.
There should have been, yes, in the last page where you get shot with poison-tipped arrows, there should have been a nice paragraph of Indiana Jones
shaking you going, kid?
Standing, watching you slowly die as the natives approach, and he just drops his bullwhip, takes his hat off, puts it over his chest, closes his eyes as he takes a volley of arrows himself, and he realizes the terrible mistake he made.
See, I was thinking that he should just have to go back to New York and tell your fucking mom. But I like yours too, it's very dramatic.
Where was I? What was I in? So, 97. That's where we are. Soon the trees are so thick that no sunlight can reach the jungle floor. Are the natives still following you? You have no desire to turn around to try and see. You just keep running and running until your feet sink into the soft, mushy ground.
No!
You feel yourself being pulled down into soft, warm slime.
No!
Quicksand!
How accurate of a depiction of quicksand do you think this is going to be?
I don't know what the proper... I only know Hollywood quicksand.
Okay, so
Where
basically...
If you try to move, you just get sucked down deeper.
Yeah, so if you're in quicksand, for the most part, if you just don't move and wait for someone to help you, you'll be fine. It's not the quicksand from Princess Bride.
Stay calm, kid. Try not to move around too much. We'll pull ourselves out of this muck. Try not to move around? You're already sunk down to your waist. How can you move around? If we stretch just a bit, we can reach those long weeds on the edge of the quicksand pit, Indy says, and then he looks up. Or how about that low tree branch? You think you can grab a hold of that? You've got to make a decision. Fast! You're sinking lower and lower into the... Oh my god, Kristen, this could be a fetish death that we're about to experience here.
Ooh. What page are we on?
Please note page 59.
Okay, my instincts say that the tree branch will snap, so let's try that.
Try the tree branch?
Yeah, because I think it's not going to work.
Tree branch, 98. 98 degrees. Nick Carter. 98. You stretch your arms up.
Oh, yeah.
No, Nick Carter. Wait. No, who was the one at 98 degrees? Nick Lachey. There we go.
I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right.
What was I gonna say first? I was gonna say somebody who definitely wasn't in 98 degrees, and then that happened anyway.
Whatever.
What 98 degree songs are there?
Let's see. There was that one where they were all really wet in the music video. 98 degree songs. Let's see if I can.
I can only think of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys songs.
Oh man, I don't think I know any of these by name.
Who else was in 98? Doesn't matter.
No. We're already having this discussion, so let's find out. Oh, Nick Andrew Lachey. Justin Jeffrey. And Jeff Timmons.
Wow, Justin Jeffrey, Jeff Timmons.
You know, famous.
We call him DJ Jeffy Jeff.
These songs, Because of You, I Do, Cherish You, and The Hardest Thing.
These all sound like Boyz II Men songs.
I feel like I should know some of these.
I feel like...
Ooh. Sorry. I just need to show you the music video quality that they're working with here.
Oh, let's see.
A nice, oops, no, I don't need to search the web.
Why am I
gotta screen cap.
Because of you.
That's Kelly Clarkson.
Alright, I was close. Oh, baby.
Yeah, a nice white box going there.
I was trying to think, like, what song do I know that's Because of You?
I don't actually know this.
That was that string of, like, 3 really popular Kelly Clarkson songs in a row.
Because of You, Break Away, Since You've Been Gone.
Yeah, since the thing that I reference every time.
I actually posted the same one twice.
Kristen, I don't know if I've ever said, but it is nearly impossible for me to not, like, as I'm trying to process my thoughts, go directly into, when I say here's the thing, I go right to, we started out friends, it was cool, but it was all pretend.
You're just a product of the year that you were born, Joe. And that's Nick Lachey, right?
Yes.
That looks like a guy that would be named Nick Lachey. And I like, that one guy looks like Fred Durst's little sister.
I was gonna say, the guy in the back looks like the guy with the glasses looks like he's trying to do his best Oasis impression.
It's all pretty bad.
I did notice the person with the backwards hat, yes. Anyway, I'm sorry. 98 Degrees!
Yep, that classic band that I don't remember a single fucking thing about.
I'm gonna say 3 people on the planet have talked about 98 Degrees today.
And 2 of them were us. And the other was Nick Lachey.
The last guy was like, I was in 98 Degrees. And whatever hotel he was checking into was just like,
What?
Here's your keys, sir.
I'm 21, sir. I don't know what you're talking about.
You stretch your arms up as high as they will reach, kicking your legs in the muck. I'm trying to climb. Up, up, up! I've got the limb! You cry, grasping tightly with both hands. Indy is right beside you. Can you pull yourself up? He asks. You can. And you do!
No! Go back!
The 2 men move across the low tree limb, hand over hand, over the quicksand pit, away from the wet muck that held you captive. At the end of the limb, you drop to the ground, but when you hit the ground, you don't stop. Wah! You cry in horror as the ground gives way beneath you, and you fall down into what seems like a bottomless pit. Where will you land? 33.
Are we gonna be in a cavern full of ebony doves?
You and Indy hit the ground with a hard thud. At least the quicksand was soft, Indy groans. He springs to his feet and begins to explore the darkness. Where are we? You ask, getting slowly to your knees. This looks like some kind of tunnel. It must be part of Professor Ravenwood's old excavation, Indy says. I think we've fallen right where we need to be. The 2 of you crawl forward in the darkness until you come to 2 branching tunnels.
We need to go back. I want to die in that quicksand.
Yeah, we'll see if we die. So, let's just finish this page first here.
Okay.
Please note page 33 moving forward, by the way. 2 of you crawl forward in the darkness until you come to 2 branching tunnels. On the right, you can make out a low, narrow tunnel with a gray, flickering light. With a gray light flickering far from the end.
A gray light!
Gray light. To your left, you can see a larger tunnel tall enough to stand up in that twists out of view. Well, Indy says, looking at one tunnel and then the other. Which is the shortcut, kid? Which tunnel do you choose to explore? Not now. We're going back to page 59.
Yeah, I take out my dowsing rods and I really sit and think about it for a minute.
Did you know that the item finder in Pokemon Red and Blue is dowsing rods, Kristen?
I do now.
I did not know. It took me a very long time to put that together.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember when I made that connection, but we didn't really have any reason to know what dowsing rods were before, so...
Very true. 47. 47. Slowly, you stretch with all your strength. Both of you reach forward. The long, slender weeds are just inches away from your grasp. You're still growing, kid, Indy says. Now would be a good time to grow another inch or 2. No respect.
Why are you doing the Rodney Dangerfield?
You try once again.
Why do you have 3 voices that you can do?
You try once again, leaning forward in the muck, reaching out your fingertips. You've got them! Now pull! Pull! You pull with all your might, and the weeds tear out from the soft ground. Oh no! You cry, your voice weak from your efforts. We're right back where we started. No, we're not, Indy says softly. Look up. You look up and see you're surrounded by an army of natives. Will they rescue you, or let you sink to death? 57. The natives just stand there and stare down at you as you sink deeper into the muck. Hey,
sorry about the stuff before.
They murmur amongst themselves. Please help us, you cry, your chin sinking into the wet sand. You try to raise your arms up, and then you can't. Finally they move. Holding onto each other, they form a human rope. They grab the 2 of you and slowly pull you out of the quicksand. No fetish deaths today, Kristen.
I'm gonna level with you.
You really wanted to die in some quicksand?
I don't know why they would even save us, considering how many of them we have killed in our previous lives. We don't deserve this.
They drag you back to their village. They tie your arms and legs with the vines and throw you onto the floor of a small dark hut.
Bear!
I think we should have asked for a room with a view, and fuck off, Indy!
I'm gonna need you to fucking stop it!
His eyes searching the dark room. What are they gonna do to us, you ask, struggling against the tightly tied vines. Nothing, if I can help it. This looks like some kind of tool shed, kid. If I can crawl over to that shovel, I can use it to cut the vines off my wrists.
What do you think the odds are that there's gonna be, like, a threat of cannibalism?
God.
Just curious.
Slowly, Indy pulls himself over to the shovel and begins to rub the vines against the blade. A few minutes later, his hands are free. He unties himself, and then you. Now what do? You ask. We tie ourselves up again, Indy says, and we wait for them to come get us. Has Indy lost his mind? Turn to page 92.
How slow are we? This little page boy child.
92. Ooh, there is a picture, once again, forgetting the word illustration, of Indy with a hand on his hat. Your hand is on his shoulder. Your hand is on the shoulder of what looks to be a native chief, so this could get
Not a panther?
really racist really quickly.
Yay.
You sit in the darkness with your hands and legs loosely tied. After a few hours later, 4 natives enter the small hut and drag you out. They lead you to a large candlelit hut that's crowded with natives. This must be the meeting hall, you think. The whole village seems to be gathered here. A man in a white robe is chanting at the front of the hall, and the large audience is listening with rapt attention. When the chanting stops, 4 men push you roughly to... Oh my god, Kristen, human sacrifice?
Oh, I hope so.
When the chanting stops, 4 men push you roughly to the front of the hall. There it is, Indy whispers, indicating the low altar in the front of the hall. Sure enough, on the altar is a dark wooden stand covered with painted
Blood
symbols.
for the blood dove!
And the ebony dove, the bloody dove.
The blood dove.
I knew these natives weren't trying so hard to keep us away unless they had something to protect, Indy says. Now follow me, kid. Indy tosses off the loosely tied vines, leaps away from the startled guards, and grabs the ebony dove from the altar, dashes back towards the exit. Run! He yells as you follow right behind him. Suddenly, he trips and falls. The ebony dove flies into the air. You reach for it. You've got it! Now, run!
Joe?
Yes.
How much more anticlimactic would all of this have been if we got the mass-produced doves ending first? Like, now this is kind of like, well, this is fucking stupid.
You run with the dove, and Indy is right behind you. Good fumble recovery.
We're straight up stealing it from the people who live here!
Now let's see you outrun their line. You turn and see the entire village is after you. The two of you twist and turn through the dark jungle trees. Soon you're back on the beach. We're trapped! You yell. We can't swim away from them! There's a canoe! Indy cries, pointing. You leap into it, still clutching the dove. You and Indy...
Swallow the dove.
Put the dove up your butt. Row out into the ocean. The natives
Lick
watching.
it, they won't want it back!
Watching from the beach. They won't shoot at us, Indy says. They don't want any harm to come to the dove. Look, Indy! You cry, your eyes wide in disbelief. A ship! There's a ship! We're saved! You row furiously towards the ship. A short while later, you're pulled on
Unless
board.
it's mercenaries.
This is what I'd like to call my lucky day, Indy tells the captain.
Shut up!
You could drop us off any port in New Guinea, and... No, I can't, says the captain. We've just come from there. We're headed to Antarctica. For 6 months! But don't worry, it may be...
Wait a minute. Wasn't there a gem ending like this?
It may be your lucky day after all. I just might have 2 extra winter coats aboard! The end.
Okay.
You were making slashes there. I thought you were
Nope, that was an accident.
indicating blushing for some reason.
I'm embarrassed.
Let's
see. Pictures.
I like that ending. I like that. That's
I like how abrupt those are sometimes, where it's like, you think you're going here. No, you're not going there, sucker. Okay, here we go.
You're getting amnesia and falling on your head and marrying a doctor. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, winter is coming for Indiana Jones, Kristen.
Alright, back to page 33.
Alright, page 33.
We could still die in some quicksand yet.
Okay, so Kristen, small tunnel, large tunnel. No, we can't die in quicksand. We're done.
It could come up again, who knows?
You're still very true. Small tunnel on the right is the one with the gray light, I think. Yes.
Yes.
It's 42.
Maybe now the tunnel will eat me.
Let's see where that light is coming from, you say.
I'm gonna die in this tunnel.
Indy leads the way on his hands and knees into the low tunnel. You get a good view of his ass the entire way.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
The ground feels damp.
Hey, that's my cousin.
The ground feels damp beneath your hands, and the air in the tunnel is thick and musty. The tunnel leads to another, narrower tunnel, which you squeeze... Oh my god, Kristen, this is going to be that Junji Ito story, isn't it?
I don't know that one.
Maybe I'm thinking it wrong. Maybe it's not him, where you fucking...
I don't really read a lot of Junji Ito because it grosses me out.
The tunnel leads into another, narrower tunnel, which you squeeze into, crawling forward as quickly as you can. The light disappears, then another. Then appears again, excuse me. The tunnel twists into another tunnel, which curves and suddenly drops downward.
There's a deep-sea fangly fish.
Just think, you'll be able to tell your friends how a mole lives, and fuck off, Indy!
Who cares?
Crawling ahead of you as you leave one tunnel behind and encounter another. The gray light disappears completely, leaving you in total blackness. Where will these tunnels lead? I'm asking the same question.
Yeah.
73. 73. You crawl through another tunnel to find to find yourself in a large tunnel that slopes down. The ground becomes
Russian dolls and tunnels.
The ground becomes sandy, the air hot and moist. This tunnel takes you into a tunnel that twists and turns uphill. This is very strange, Indy says. How come Professor Ravenwood's excavation include all these small tunnels? This tunnel leads to a taller one. You stand for a moment and rub your sore knees. We must be coming to an end, don't you think? You ask Indy. He doesn't answer your question. Keep moving, he says sharply, entering the darkness of yet another tunnel. These tunnels go on forever. Turn to page 1.
This feels a little bit stupid.
Turn to page 107. Thank you for the deep sea fangly fish.
You're welcome. That's what I imagine is making the light.
107. Rock 107. This tunnel leads to a cool, moist tunnel that slopes downwards. What the fuck?
Are we in Action Park right now?
You crawl forward wearily. You know you've come too far to turn around. You can never find your way back anyway. And he cuts a jagged line into the side of the tunnel with a knife. I want to see if we're going around in circles, kid, he says. He crawls forward. God. Following the twists and turns of the next low tunnel of darkness. Is it possible that you're going around in circles? Can you be trapped in this bizarre labyrinth of tunnels forever? I'm wearing my labyrinth shirt, by the way.
Nice.
Turn to page 73.
I want a word count of how many times the word tunnel has come up.
Oh my god, I'm fucking... Oh, Jesus! For fuck's sake, you crawl through another tunnel and find yourself in a large tunnel that slopes down. Wait a minute! 107, 73, 107, 73. 107, 73.
Are we in a loop?
We are in a loop, Kristen.
Jesus Christ!
Fuck you, R.L. Stein. I gotta see, just 54... 54... No, we chose 42, excuse me. 42... Yeah, you go 42, 73, 107, 73. 107, 73, 107, 73.
I don't appreciate it.
Oh, that's basically an ending. So, I appreciate that it's not a traditional ending.
Hang on, I have another gift. Where'd it go?
Better be David Bowie throwing a baby.
It's not.
I'm gonna take a sippy quickly here of some water. Turn to page 54.
There we go.
There we go. I like the candy cane font.
Mm-hmm. This website has some good good patterns. I could change how fast they move.
As you step into the tunnel, you choke on the musty air. Falling dust forces you to close your eyes. You stumble forward blindly. When you open your eyes, you see that you and Indy have followed the tunnel into a vast open chamber. Your eyes slowly adjust to the dim light. What's that chattering sound, you ask? What's that scratching?
Is it a fucking panther?
Something scurries between your legs. I hope it's a panther. Something crawls over your feet. You feel something crawling up your leg.
It's a panther.
You look down at the floor and try to focus. The floor seems to be churning, tumbling, rolling. As soon as you realize that it isn't the floor that's moving, it's the inhabitants of the chamber that's scurrying about. Thousands and thousands of rats! Ratatouille!
Oh, I thought it was going to be a snake, and I jumped the gun and I downloaded a picture of a snake.
Kristen, if you don't mind, please Photoshop rat ears, or just use MS Paint to put rat ears and, or whatever the paint on a Mac is.
I say, yeah, Joe, I have a Mac. You want rat ears on who?
Tell the entire world, on the snake.
Okay, rat ears on a snake, I can do that.
Turn to page 38. Rats crawling over your shoes, climbing up your pant legs, dropping down from the ceiling and landing on your shoulder. You kick at them. They back away for a moment and scramble back to you. Fire your gun! Shoot them! Scare them away! You slap a rat off your chest and duck another as it drops off your neck. Just stay calm, Indy says. Stare them down. Step right over them.
Wait a minute. Sorry, I have a better idea than what I started doing.
If you don't panic, they won't attack. We'll be able to walk right through the chamber. No, it won't work, you cry. How can you get through this rat-infested chamber? You must
Negative Nancy.
decide. Kristen, please mark page 38 when you get the chance.
Just give me 1 second.
And are you going to listen to Indy? Or are you going to make him fire his pistol to scare them?
Hang on. Need to make this smaller. You're gonna really like this.
I'm ready for it.
Ah, it's my doorbell ring.
I was like, Jesus.
It was an Amazon package getting delivered. Sneak. Okay, I finished this, so I'll just post this and then do the decision. There you go.
Wow, perfect.
Yep, so what page are we on?
Please mark page 38.
Let's do guns again.
79. Kristen, it's going to cave in the entire thing on you, probably.
Meh.
That's
I want to suffocate to death! I'll get it however I can!
Click, click. Did you forget that Indy's pistol was ruined in your swim in the ocean?
Yes, because we've been doing this book for 2 hours!
When it doesn't fire, Indy tosses the pistol against the wall in disgust. There's a moment of silence, and then a cracking noise starts to begin. You look up. You look up to see the wall beginning to crumble. Oh my god! He started an indoor avalanche, throwing his pistol against the wall.
Nice job, idiot!
The walls begin to crumble. The noise becomes deafening as the dirt walls fall, creating an avalanche. Oh, it does. He does use avalanche. Okay, bringing down the ceiling.
I don't think that's. No, I think cave-in.
Yes, bringing down the walls and the walls come tumbling, rumbling. Thus, the adventure comes to an end with good news and bad news. The good news is that you found a way to keep the rats from attacking you.
The bad news is you died crushed under a rock.
You buried them under tons of earth. The bad news is that you were buried right along with them. The end.
I suffocated! Yeah!
Turn to page 112.
112. Why?
Because... No, I'm sorry, that was the end. I immediately went back to 38.
Oh, okay. So...
The rats scratch at your legs and scamper over your shoes as slowly... R.L. Stein really likes slowly, slowly.
It's evocative.
You begin to walk through them. Stop shaking like that, cuz. Is this... Indy says, the secret is to show no fear. He swats a chattering black rat off his head. When the fuck is the panther? A group of black rats start
I don't think there's a panther in this book.
Start to screech, a high-pitched whistling that sends a shiver up and down your back. No fear. No fear. No fear, no pain.
No fear.
Kamen Rider Kuga. You repeat over and over to yourself. Suddenly your foot hits a rock. You trip. You catch yourself and pull yourself back to your feet, shaking the rats off your back and shoulders. No fear. No fear. No fear. Never give up. Never surrender. Galaxy Quest. You repeat, staring the rats down in their eyes as you step over them. You walk slowly, carefully, so slowly that you think you'll never make it to the other side. Finally, you reach the center of the chamber. There are rats all around you in a chattering, scratching, scampering circle. Stare them down! Indy cries as a hungry rat. No gods, no masters.
Stare him down? Okay.
That's the...
Hang on.
Isn't that the achievement for the Yes Man ending in New Vegas, right? No gods, no masters?
Oh, I don't remember.
Or is that I don't remember. Well,
my head is just a jumble of phrases.
But that was something to the entrance to Rapture in BioShock or something? No whammies, stop. Turn to page 100. Thick carpet of rats was the last thing, which is a gross phrase.
Again, evocative.
The rats are circling you now, moving in closer and closer. You keep walking, trying to stare them down. But suddenly a rat leaps onto Indy's leg and bites deeply into his trousers.
What game show is No Whammies?
Press your luck.
Press your luck. I put in let's make a deal.
Ba-ba-ba-da.
Ba-ba-ba-da-da-da-da.
I still don't know. I think that's what's...
Ba-ba-ba-da. Isn't that Match Game?
Yes, and I made that mistake before. Time to match the stars! Indiana Jones, Brett Summers, Charles Nelson Riley. Oh, baby. It's a good gif.
It is. I really like that cat.
Another rat.
That cute cat.
Another rat is on him now, and another. You have almost reached the other side of the chamber.
He starts eating them all. He eats all of them.
You look down and see that your leg is bleeding. Indy cries out again. You keep walking. The pain in your leg is growing stronger, but you struggle to ignore it.
The rats are climbing inside the wound. They're piloting you.
Oh my god!
Who's Junji Ito now? It's me.
Finally, you climb over a low wall at the end of the chamber. The rats cannot follow you now. I guess my little trick didn't work, Indy says, dabbing at a wound with his soiled handkerchief. We'll try some.
Fall over. You below your knee. You have no leg anymore.
We'll try something else next time. Like die.
Fuck you.
Next time, you turn around. You're in another large chamber. And there at the far end is a large box. It looks like a pirate's treasure chest. Oh,
nice!
Shit!
It's the treasure of Rainbow Island or whatever.
That chest might just contain the little item we've been looking for, says Indy. You're right, it could.
Smash it open with a hammer.
Calls a stranger's voice from the far end of the chamber.
Damn it.
Turn to page 11. 11.
How much longer is this one? Joe, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting fucking bored of this island. And we still have to go back to New York and see if we get shot to death.
Indy grabs the bullwhip coiled around his shoulder and pulls it free, ready to attack the intruder. Your whip is of little use against this, the man cries, stepping out of the shadows to reveal a pistol in his hand. Indy's jaw drops. Recognize the man with the gun. Professor Huntington, he cries. I'm sorry you remembered me, Jones, Huntington says with a scowl. Now I'll have to...
Has this person been mentioned before?
No.
I didn't think so.
Now I'll have to kill you, and your friend there. You were with the original expedition, Indy says, taking a few steps to the professor, still grasping the handle of his bullwhip. Have you come to try to take the dub for yourself? I don't try. I have it, Huntington cries. He picks up the treasure chest and starts to run out of the chamber. Indy sees his chance and rushes forward to attack with the bullet. Wait, you cry. Let him go. There's no need to fight him. Wait a minute. Indy stops and looks at you in surprise. He can't decide whether to listen to you or not. All right, Kristen, mark page 11.
Oh, jeez.
So, is Indy going to attack? Or is he going to wait?
Let's kill some more people. It's been a while.
24. 24. There we go. Indy raises his whip and lashes out at the fleeing professor. Huntington ducks from the whip and runs into the next chamber. Indy's right behind him. They're in the chamber of rats now. The rats screech excitedly, "Oh shit, dinner!"
The rat's chamber.
Dinner's back. Indy leaps onto Huntington's back and knocks him to the ground. The chest bounces onto the hard floor. Rats crawl all over both men. Huntington pulls himself up, kicks away a rat, spies a ledge about 6 feet off the floor and tries to climb up it. Indy slaps away 2 rats and follows Huntington. The 2 men struggle to climb up on the ledge. The rats swarm closer, crawling on each other in their eagerness to grab the men's trouser legs. Trousers. Woo! Dick rats.
Yeah. Those are some horny rats.
I'm sorry my men didn't finish you off in the harbor, Huntington cries. He pushes Indy and sends him sprawling back against the wall. Indy raises himself up and kicks Huntington with all of his strength. Huntington
So this guy, who is near Papua New Guinea, which is 2 weeks away from New York, had people in New York trying to stop us from getting on the boat 2 weeks ago.
Turn to page 22. Oh, I'm sorry. Huntington...
No, Joe.
Huntington
Don't make me hang in here by myself.
Huntington cries out in pain and falls. Turn to page 22.
He gets eaten by rats.
Kristen, there is a lovely illustration.
Tell me about it.
Indiana Jones with his whip at the ready. You behind him with your hand outstretched doing force lightning fingers again.
You!
Rats all over the place. And his foot on the treasure chest like he's Captain Morgan.
Nice.
It is the last cry Huntington will ever... Oh, he's dead.
Yeah!
The rats are upon him. You turn away. You cannot bear to watch their merciless attack. It's like the scene in Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull where a guy dies from a bunch of fucking fire ants being all over him.
Good.
Rat death. Indy grabs his bullwhip and cracks it in the air. The noise startles the rats. Why didn't you do that instead of the pistol? Either way. He cracks it again and again, the sound echoing loudly off the chamber walls. It is the rats that are frightened now. They back away to the far corner of the vast room. Nice. Why are we hanging loose?
Because it's cool that we killed someone.
Indy jumps down on the floor and walks over the chest. He cracks the whip again and sends several rats scampering away. He bends down and begins to work on the chest lid. The rats come back and towards him. He cracks the whip again. Finally, he managed to open the lid of the treasure chest. It's empty! Huntington died for nothing. Turn to page 48.
Told you should have opened it with a hammer.
48. There's a lesson to be learned here, Indy says Riley. Indy says Lincoln Riley.
Oh, I thought he was calling you Riley. Which is also a gender-neutral name.
But we don't have time to figure out what it is. Huntington's men must be around here somewhere, and I'd rather not run into them. You begin to explore other underground chambers of the excavation. After an hour of exploring, you both see the object of your conquest in the same moment. There it is! You cry, pointing to a low, flat mound of dirt in the center of the chamber. This bird is fucking all over the place.
I mean, we know why now.
There stands the dove, unguarded, unconcealed, uncovered. You start to rush towards it. Stop! Indy whispers. Suddenly, 3 men carrying guns burst into the chamber. The dove! One of them cries, pointing at the statue. They haven't seen you yet. Well, Monty, you know what they say about a bird in the hand, one of them says. No, what? Monty says, scratching his head. Just shut up and grab the dove, the first one says impatiently. I'm here too!
No! Jenna, she heard the word bird and she was like, you made me!
That's why I was brought on this mission, because I'm a bird expert.
Yep. Couldn't tell you the first thing about them, but I know what they look like!
The first one says impatiently. The 3 men rush to grab the dove off the mound. Indy just stands there. Is he going to let him take it? Turn to page 62.
Oh my god, I need to go get my Amazon package, so you keep reading. I don't think I'm going to miss anything.
Get your Amazon package,
I'll be there.
please.
I'll be back in a minute.
Ooh, I'm going to just take a nice sip really quickly here. So how's everybody doing out there in TV land? Are you bored of the Indiana Jones theme yet? I'm not going to continue reading because this is an ending page. So...
Did anything exciting happen?
It's an ending page, so I'm going to read the entire thing. So here we go.
Okay.
As 3 men rush forward to grab the ebony dove, they trip a slender thread stretched out in front of the mound. You hear a cracking sound, a rumble from above, and a slab of granite falls from the ceiling, crushing the dove!
Yeah! Oh, I thought it was going to be the people.
The 3 men stand staring at the block of granite in disbelief. They look up at the ceiling, turn, and run out of the chamber. I ain't getting crushed for no dove! You hear one of them scream. Well, that's the end of the story, kid, Indy says, stepping out from your hiding place. Why? You ask, confused. The scientists. Why did they set that trap that would crush the dove? Professor Ravenwood didn't want it getting into the wrong hands, Indy explains. Anyone who would rush forward like a fool without checking to see if the dove was being protected first, didn't deserve to own it. But it's gone for all time, you say. No, it isn't, Indy says. He steps over to the wall, measures it with his hands, and pulls out a stone. He reaches in, lifts out the ebony dove. The real ebony dove. Okay, kid, let's go home, he says, sounding cheerful for the first time in a month. Do you want to walk? Or would you rather take a bus? The end.
I hate him so much. So we're gonna not kill that guy, I guess.
11?
No rat death.
Oh, rat death.
Hi, Benny. Good boy.
So I'm sorry, it was attack him? That was what you chose?
Yes.
Okay, 32. Huntington runs from the chamber, struggling to hold the big chest and his pistol at the same time, but Indy makes no move to follow him. He quickly realizes why you told him to wait. A few seconds later, you hear the anguished cries of Professor Huntington. He has run right into the chamber of hungry rats. His screams fill your ears for a few seconds, and then there's silence. A few moments later, you and Indy peer over the low wall and the rats have devoured Huntington.
Did you say a few months later?
A few moments later, you and
Okay, that makes more sense.
Peer over the low wall. The rats have devoured Huntington. The chest stands in the middle of the floor. There are rats crawling all over it, searching for more to eat. The dove is all ours, Indy says, if we can get to it. How can you retrieve the chest amidst the rats? 49? Is this the same page as before?
That guy dies both ways.
49? Yeah, he does. Good for him.
I'm fine with it.
You and Indy stare at the chest as the rats swarm over it. We can't go back in there, Indy scowls. We've got to get that chest. You didn't happen to bring a pair of stilts, did you?
I did! Shut up!
Seriously, 2 hours into this, I'm very tired of Indy's snark.
The quips are really too much. You can't read the entire book in one sitting. It's just maddening.
You start to answer, but suddenly you get an idea. Maybe you can lasso the chest and pull it away from the rats. Indy has his bullwhip off his shoulder before you finish talking. Good idea, kid. I'm impressed. He cracks the whip a few times in the air. Rats leap off the chest and scamper back toward the far wall. Indy raises his whip again, then again takes aim. Fwap! Missed! He pulls
Benny's stepping on my headphone cord.
He pulls the whip back in. This isn't as easy as it looks, he says. Will he be able to pull the chest out of the rat's chamber? Turn to page 52. I'm surprised.
Can you hear Benny?
No. He's not meowing, is he?
He's purring.
No, I can't hear it. I think the Indiana Jones theme is too loud. Fwap! The whip uncoils. Missed again, Indy scowls. He raises his arm and tries once more. This time the whip wraps itself around the chest and Indy pulls it back with all his strength. The chest doesn't budge. The rats climb onto the whip. Help me! He calls. The two of you pull together. The chest moves an inch. Another inch. It's sliding now. You've got it. One last tug and the chest is in front of you. Indy cracks the air with the whip to scare away the rats. He pulls open the lid and reaches inside. Mission accomplished, he cries happily. He holds up the ebony dove. Wow, so Kristen, depending on if Indiana Jones follows the guy or not, the chest just does or does not. It's Schrodinger's ebony dove.
No! I hate this so much. I know it doesn't need to be consistent, but part of my brain really wishes it was.
Now we just have one small problem. Getting off this island, you say. Well, let's get started. And what do you say we try another exit and forget the rats this time? Not a bad idea.
Let me take a bus!
Before long, the two of you have made your way out of the darkness of the excavation and into the sunlight. There, waiting for you, are several dozen armed natives. You freeze in horror as they raise their weapons. This might be the first ending that we got again.
Where people aren't just dying. And we are coming home disappointed.
101. It's not the same ending. The angry natives prepare to attack you and Indy. They see the ebony dove cradled in Indy's arm. They grow silent. Their leader steps forward and talks to Indy in your language. Oh, let's see. Is that a nice...
Benny is really getting in my way.
Good picture. Their leader steps forward and talks to Indy in their language. You realize that you are trembling. The natives have you surrounded. There's no escape. What's he saying? You ask. Are they angry because we're trying to take the dove? Indy grins. They're pleased as punch, cuz. He says, this is the happiest day of their lives. They want us to take the dove from the island. They believe the curse on Malakula will be removed when the dove is gone.
So they're just lying to us.
You mean, that's right. They don't know how to thank us. I can think of a lot of ways, you exclaim. Like, for instance, they can help us get on a boat for home, which is exactly what the Malakulans do, bringing this adventure to a happy the end.
So how far do we have to fucking go back now?
We gotta go back pretty far, I think.
Okay, let's see. So...
Because I think that this is even before we get to the island now at this point. I think we've done everything on the island there is to do.
78?
78.
Oh wait, no, that's fight the natives.
Yeah, so whatever's before fighting the natives, because I think we did everything
67. It's either swim to the shore or back to the boat.
To the lifeboat, page 84. I assume we're gonna die here.
I think so too.
So please note page 67, Kristen.
84?
67, because that's the one.
But 84 is the choice.
No, well, 84 is where we're going to, but 67 is whatever. But spoiler alert, it says the end.
I'm the one doing the notes, Joe.
Can you swim to the lifeboat? You take a deep breath and start. Then you realize that the lifeboat is actually coming toward you. What a lucky break! The closer and closer it comes, like a gray streak. You shake your head to get the water out of your eyes. Wait a minute. There seem to be 2 lifeboats coming toward you. Now there are 3! And then you stop swimming. You drop your arms and stare. Lifeboats don't have fins, do they?
Shark, shark, shark,
Shark, shark, shark, shark, shark, shark, shark, shark. Those gray obstacles swimming towards you are at such speed are sharks, and only hunger can make them swim so fast. Well, keep ducking those big teeth, and try not to go to pieces. This adventure, sad to say, has come to the end.
This is my favorite one. Hang on. I gotta... There we go. My new favorite song in the universe, Baby Shark.
What the hell is that?
Oh, I'm shocked that you don't know what Baby Shark is, Joe.
No idea, Kristen.
It is a children's song that got very, very popular, and lyrics are Baby Shark doo 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 doo, Baby Shark doo 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 doo, Baby Shark doo 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 doo, Baby Shark.
I saw the other things with fucking Johnny and eating sugar with that exact cadence.
That is something that I have managed to avoid, so I'm pretty proud of that. But they had the song at karaoke the last time I went, and people weren't picking songs fast enough, so they got to listen to me do all of Baby Shark, which has about 10 verses.
God.
Mommy shark doo doo doo
No,
doo,
Kristen,
Mommy
please.
shark doo 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 doo, Mommy shark doo 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 doo, Mommy shark.
Kristen, what is the page before 67 that we gotta go to?
Daddy shark doo doo doo,
No!
Daddy shark doo 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 doo, Daddy
We're
shark
almost
doo
done.
doo
I have
doo,
a-
Daddy shark.
I'm
scrolling back to see what the page is, Joe.
I have a football game I gotta watch.
Whatever. I gotta cook dinner. We all have shit that we need to do. 65.
65.
I think we're jumping into the water.
Yes, York. Wow, we're all the way back in New York then.
Yep.
Jumping overboard, turn to page 75.
Get into that good garbage
Where
water
the
at the
fuck
harbor.
was the panther?
There wasn't one!
Happy landings, kid, Indy says. He climbs onto the rail and leaps off the boat. You are off the boat before you hear his splash. You hit the cold water and sink into the darkness, then slowly float to the top. You struggle to catch your breath. Up above, you can hear the policeman searching the boat. How about down below? You hear one ask. Forget it. Too dark down there. Another cop answers. I'm scared. Indy smiles as he floats beside you in the water. These cops are lazy, he whispers. I think we beat them. Suddenly, a bright light shines in your eyes. Two cops with flashlights are standing above, staring down at you. Hey, look at the big fish down there! One of them calls to the other, a triumphant grin on his face. A few moments later, you're dragged up by the police. You're gonna have a lot... Lucy, you got a lot of splaining to do! Why are you hiding in the water? Why does Indy have a policeman's pistol? This certainly... This certainly dampens our plans, kid, Indy says dejectedly. It's also...
Dampens?
It also...
Dampens?
It also ends... Kristen, it also ends this adventure with a very bad pun. Go get a towel...
Is that what it says?
Yes. Yes. Go get a towel and dry off. Then close this book before you get in any more trouble. The end. There is... Where the fuck is the panther? There's...
Don't worry, I'm on it.
I keep going across. There is a illustration. Again, forgetting the word. With a panther on it.
Don't worry about it. I'm doing something that will help. Has that gotten old yet?
Can you tell?
No, that sounded pretty sincere.
How far into this are we? Let me see. It's 2 hours, 13 minutes. This has been
You
going.
know. Boop, 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 boop. Dun, 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 dun. Where'd it go? I have so many files on my desktop now. Where did it go? I accidentally saved it to temporary again.
I just keep looking. I'm trying to figure out how the fuck it gets to this Panther page. 44.
There it is. There. Maybe that'll help. Okay, what page now?
Well, we jumped off the boat and it was a game over, so what's before jumping off the boat?
Let me see. How about we stay on that boat? Page 9. We're gonna talk to that cop. Maybe that cop will lead us to a panther.
9. Stop and ask the policeman for help. Okay. 35. And where might you be going in such a hurry? The policeman asks, blocking your path to the cargo boat.
Well, we're being shot at, sir.
Before you can answer, a shot rings out. The policeman turns away from you and runs into the direction of the shot. That was easy, Indy says as you watch the 2 men in trench coats run into the crowd of ships passing. 2 men in trench coats run into the crowd of ships passengers. Pursued by policemen. Let's get onto the boat before we run into anyone else who's come to see us off. Not so fast, Mr. Jones! A voice cries behind you. My men did their job well. Now no one is around at all but you. And
it wouldn't
me.
make sense for this to lead anywhere because we don't have a gun now.
Indy's got his normal gun, I think.
No, we had the gun from the policeman for the whole thing.
Probably true. I wish I could stay and chat, Indy says, turning to face the large man with wavy blonde hair. We're on our way to Hawaii for a little vacation, so the man jabs a pistol into Indy's ribs. I know where you're headed, Mr. Jones, but you're not going there. Some friends of mine have paid me handsomely to see that you sail off in the other direction. Well, Florida is nice.
Do we need to sail off in the other direction, or could we just not go at all?
Well, Florida is nice this time of year, Indy says, trying to push the muzzle of the gun out of his ribs. The direction in mind I had is down, the man says with a frown. Down to the bottom of the ocean. Get moving. You too, kid. This way.
Joe?
Yes.
I just realized something vital.
Yes.
We're getting on a boat in New York.
Yes.
To go to the South Pacific.
They gotta go through the Panama Canal, I guess, Kristen.
I'm pretty sure it would have made way more fucking sense to just leave from California.
Port of San Francisco, or something.
Yeah, like literally on the other side of the United States. Would have been significantly faster.
That's why it took 2 weeks.
Yeah! I'm surprised it didn't take longer.
I'm not much for deep-sea diving, Indy says, walking very slowly towards the end of the pier. Just shut up! The man barks. Thank you, man.
I kind of like this guy.
And hand over that bullwhip! Right now. No tricks. Understand? Indy pulls his bullwhip off his shoulder and gives you a wink. You catch his meaning. You throw yourself down to the ground and Indy
He's flirting with you.
pulls back his arm and raises his bullwhip into the air. Turn to page 6. You leap up at the man and push his gun out of his hand. With a menacing hiss, Indy's
You're a little boy.
wraps around him. The startled man cries out for help, and there's no one to come to his aid. Good work, kid, Indy cries. We got this guy all gift-wrapped. And who should we give him to? Wait, Indy! Look, you cry, pointing to the pier. The cargo boat! It's about to leave! Uh-oh. Sorry, we don't have time to wish you a formal bon voyage, Indy says. He pulls the bullwhip away, spinning the man off the pier and into the water below.
Whoa.
Let's catch that boat.
He ends up, like, gutted by the rudder of some boat.
God.
Knowing this book so far.
Let's catch that boat, Indy cries to you. You start to run to Pier 66. If we miss it, it's a long swim to where we're going. Where are you headed? Turn to page 16 to find out. 16.
Yeah, Benny?
There's a nice illustration of a boat and some boards.
I love boat!
A few moments later, you're aboard the cargo boat and is sailing out to sea. It isn't until that evening, after dinner, that Indy decides to tell you where we're headed. We're going to a place known as Whore Island, he begins.
No.
I think I'll take Hawaii instead. It wasn't always called Horror Island. It was called Whore Island at one point.
Joe, how far are we starting over? Are we gonna find the fucking panther?
Indy continues, ignoring your remark. It was only called that after the people that came to believe the island was cursed. Well, this is starting to sound better and better. Listen, kid, it wasn't my idea that you tag along. Indy replies, leaning against the rail.
I'm sorry.
If your parents knew I brought you, they'd have my neck. The small boat lurches forward in the water, throwing you against...
Does he have a split personality that he's unable to control?
Throwing you against the rail. I'm sorry, you say. I'm having a great time. Really? You pick yourself up off the deck. Well, Indy continues the explanation. The real name of the island we're going to is Malakula. The man who taught me about everything is we already know all this. Abner Ravenwood. What did he find? Trouble. Turn to page 18. Professor Ravenwood went to Malakula in hopes of finding the remains of an ancient civilization buried away. Wasn't given any chance of succeeding. I don't understand, you say. Who stopped him? The Malakulans. In his digging, he discovered some ancient burial ground. These natives believed... Oh no, are we where we were before?
No, because remember he wouldn't tell us for 2 weeks where we were going in the last one. I'm pretty sure this is new.
I'm gonna go to page 80 really quick. Yep, this is all new.
We're getting to that panther!
Why are we going back, you ask? To find the evil spirits? Nope, Indy says, staring at the churning waters. Just after you arrived on campus, I got a call from Marcus Brody, the curator of the museum. He found the Professor Ravenwood. This all sounds familiar. What the fuck?
I don't know why we need 2 versions of this, but okay.
Well, alright, well, we're going after the dove, as we all know. Turn to page 80. Weeks later, you stop at a small port in New Guinea to get supplies. For New Guinea, it is a few hours sail to Malakula. Is that a panther or a jaguar?
I searched panther.
Alright. You should put a picture of Panther from Star Fox in here.
Don't tell me what to do.
Well, the supplies have been... That one's got a leopard pattern on it or something. I've never seen a panther.
It does.
Like that.
I don't know enough about... Okay.
The entomology of panthers.
I really don't.
The way that it looks on the stream, because of the fact that this has to be at 50% opacity to make sure that we can still see Jem, it's Jem's face superimposed directly over the panther.
Yes! Her inner self.
Anyway, alright. Anyway. While the supplies are being loaded onto the boat, a tall sailor with a limp approaches Indy. The sailor's face is scarred and twisted, and his left eye just stares off into space. Oh, gross. Is that you, Jones, you lubber? The sailor calls, giving Indy a slap that sends him lurching forward. Captain Jim! Captain Jim!
Huh?
Hey, yo, Captain Jim!
There's not a rhyme. Bring me back
to the railroad.
To the Jim.
Bring me back to the railroad, Rim.
Jim. Rim.
Railroad Rim.
Railroad Rim.
Bring me back to the Pacific Rim.
There we go.
I thought they fed you to the sharks years ago. I'm still sailing here and there. Mostly there. Captain Jim says, squinting into Indy's face.
That was Mac and Charlie's job description of odd jobs. Here and there. Mostly here.
Where are you headed, Jones? Malakula, Indy says quietly. How about taking me along? Says Captain Jim. I was there 5 or 6 years ago with them scientists. I don't know what I'm going for here, accent-wise.
I don't either.
I can show you around. Indy looks at the old sailor suspiciously. Quite a coincidence running into you, he says thoughtfully. Should you take Captain Jim along as a guide? Kristen, please mark page 80.
I don't wanna.
So, that's a no, then, for Captain Jim.
No.
104. Sorry, old-timer, Indy says, turning away from the old sailor. Not this trip. Wait a minute, Jones. I can be helpful to you. I know a thing or two that you don't. Captain Jim follows you and Indy down to the dock. If you know so much, you must know the meaning of the word no, Indy says, turning on him. I don't have to take that kind of talk from you, Captain Jim says, his face turning scarlet, gives Indy a hard shove. Ooh, Indiana Jones pinball. I like the ball shoot is a pistol.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cut it out, Indy says, walking faster toward the boat, but Captain Jim keeps after him. Doesn't this guy have a limp? He shoves Indy again and again. I don't want to fight you, Jim! Indy says, trying to be patient. You've insulted me! Captain Jim says, his face still bright red. And now you gotta fight me!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Captain Jim...
Yeah, I think we really made the wrong decision not bringing this fucking piece of work along.
Captain Jim lunges at Indy and pushes him off the dock and into the water below. Now Captain Jim turns angrily towards you.
I have a theory.
Yes.
He's gonna take off his face and he's gonna be a panther.
Kristen, there is a nice illustration on this page of Captain Jim shoving Indiana Jones off the deck.
You know what? He kind of deserves it.
Turn to page 26. 26. Are you gonna give me a hard time too? Captain Jim asks, stepping towards you, a crazed look in his...
I'm 9!
A crazed look at his one good eye. Now, try to calm down, you say, backing away. You listen for Indy, but all you hear is the splashing of the water against the dock piles. Maybe you need a swim, too! Captain Jim shouts, reaching forward to grab you. But Indy has pulled himself back onto the dock. He grabs the old sailor from behind, lifts him up off the dock, and throws him into the water.
And he had his phone in his pocket, so that sucked.
There's a loud splash as Captain Jim hits the water. A few seconds later, you hear his frightened cries. Help me, Jones! Help! You know I'm a terrible swimmer!
Then maybe you shouldn't be a fucking sea captain, you idiot.
Indy ignores the cries. Oh, get out of there, he mutters. The two of you walk down to the dock and to the small boat that will take you to Malakula. What awaits you on the cursed place that's come to be known as Horror Island? Turn to page 10 to find out. Are we getting to this fucking panther? Oh my god. Oh, this is 2 full pages!
Woo!
Your voyage to Malakula is short and uneventful. You go ashore and head onto the steamy jungle. Indy follows his map to the low hills where Professor Ravenwood made his excavation years ago. Hey, what's going on here? Indy cries. You look at the excavation site. It's surrounded by a barbed wire fence. The Malakulans wouldn't use barbed wire. Who in the blazes has done this? Indy cries. And then you see...
Joe.
Yes.
I don't care. Is the thing.
Then you see 2 armed men patrolling the fence. You climb a low hill to the east of the excavation and find a tunnel opening that hasn't been fenced off. In here. Quick, Indy whispers. The tunnel winds into the main chamber of the excavation. You peer out into the lighted chamber from the darkness of the tunnel. You see dozens of men unloading the contents of hundreds of wooden...
I mean, unholding it also works. They were holding it and then they weren't.
Smugglers, Indy whispers. They must be stealing these
I am smug, thank you.
That damn smuggler, so smug.
I am. What are they fucking smuggling?
Kristen, I'm just thinking the smuggler is an even worse version of the Riddler.
He just goes, Batman.
Smuggle me this, Batman.
Just that over and over and over again.
I'll bet they started the rumors about a curse on the island to keep people away. You both duck down.
How about you get your fucking story straight?
You both duck down as an armed guard walks a few yards in front of you. They must have taken the dove out of here a long time ago, Indy whispers. Let's go, kid. You turn to go back to the tunnel. Then a voice calls, Stop where you are! You're not going anywhere! Turn to page 29.
It's me again!
It's me, Zipper.
That was not your Zipper voice.
It's me, Zipper.
That's better.
Oh boy, Kristen. Please mark page 29.
Is there gonna be a fucking panther?
As an armed guard stands at the tunnel opening, there's an armed guard at the tunnel opening. At the tunnel opening, a rifle in his hand. Run into the tunnel, and he tells you we won't be an easy target in the darkness. I believe in a thing called love. You run as fast as you can into the blackness and out of the narrow tunnel. The guard's rifle rings out, but he misses you. You follow the tunnel into an even narrower tunnel.
No!
The rifle's shots grow fainter. The guard has lost you for the moment. You can hear him in the distance calling for the other guards. You don't have much time. We gotta think of...
Why do these guards have such an assortment, and I guess mercenaries, of both automatic rifles and pistols? That's kind of confusing to me.
Those are the only guns available in the 1930s, Kristen.
I guess so.
Not like they're gonna be running around with a laser.
They have muskets. They got bayonets.
We don't have much time.
They got guns strapped to their feet like heels.
Like Bayonetta.
Like Bayonetta.
Indy stops mid-sentence. We've got one chance to get out of here, kid. He says, Professor Ravenwood left a store of explosives down here. So... Whoa!
Whoa! I feel like that's a big leap to take as the first possible solution to this problem. Also, how does he know that?
He and his team used to dig at these tunnels and chambers. If we can find the explosives, maybe we can blast our way out of here. And off the island. And ourselves.
You mean because you die in the explosion, therefore the problem will be solved, in effect?
Will you ever find the explosives in the dark and twisting tunnels? It's all a matter of luck. Kristen, pick a number between 1 and 10.
1.
If you picked 1, go to page 36. Ooh, there's a spoiler alert. There's a illustration of Indy and the kid running away from an explosion.
Oh, I thought you were going to say an illustration of them dying in the explosion.
Oh, you stumble through the dark tunnels, moving as fast as you can. You can hear angry voices behind you, so you move even faster. There it is, Indy cries. You found the store of explosives in a small chamber. Indy runs over and picks up a pack of dynamite sticks. Stop right there, a voice calls. How many times are we going to hear that? Oh, my God. Drop your rifles or I'll blow this whole island off the map, Indy yells. The guards stare at Indy, deciding whether he's bluffing or not. Indy lights a match and raises it to the fuse of the dynamite pack.
He's Kurt Russell!
Let's get out of here, he's nuts! The guard yells. The smugglers and the guards turn to run. A triumphant smile crosses Indy's face, but suddenly turns to look in horror. Oh no, he yells. I accidentally lit this thing!
Yeah, I had a feeling.
He drops...
wouldn't do that? Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. When he tries to kill the thing.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
The two of you run down the tunnel as quickly as you can. You reach the opening in daylight, just as the explosive dynamite explodes.
I'm sorry, is that what it said?
No, I messed up.
Okay.
I'm getting really weird reading this book.
You sound like you're slowly going crazy. Or rapidly going crazy.
Badly shaken, you reach the safety of your small boat and begin your trip home, alive but empty-handed. Turn to page 95. Where the fuck is the panther? 95. Marcus Brody's office in the National Museum, is filled with ancient artifacts, and its oak walls are lined with impressive-looking volumes of archaeological studies. He gives an excited cry of surprise as you walk in. "You're back!" he exclaims. "Where have you been?" "What do you mean, where have we been?" Indy says grumpily. You know where we've been. We've been halfway around the world. But I've been trying to reach you for months, says Brody, jumping from his desk. I started right after you left. You see, we have the dove. Indy glares at Brody. What? What are you talking about, Marcus? Is that a panther holding a baby panther?
Yes, it is. Pretty cute.
There we go. How could you... We found it. On a bookshelf in Professor Ravenwood's study. You know how careless he always was. Suddenly Brody realizes that Indy is upset. Sorry, Jones, he says hastily. I guess your trip was all for nothing, wasn't it? Indy's reply is unprintable. I didn't understand what unprintable was at first. As he grows angrier and moves closer to Marcus Brody, you realize it's just as well that this adventure has now come to the end. 29, Kristen?
Indiana Jones said fuck.
Turn to page 89.
So we just pick a number other than 1?
Yes.
So was 1 just the only right answer?
No. It was like 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, like a bunch of we're just picking the other option. Soon you are lost in the dark, twisting in the tunnels. Oh no, not the tunnel loop again.
Oh,
please
God
no.
damn it.
How do we get out, you ask, listening for footsteps of the guards. I'm not sure, Indy says quietly. Suddenly you hear a voice calling. They went this way, over here. You've been discovered. Forget the explosives, Indy cries. Run! You start to run, but the ground is soft, and you trip and fall. Ow! You cry out in pain as you twist your ankle. Get up, Indy yells. We've reached the main tunnel. Get up, we gotta move. Turn to page 25. 25. Your ankle hurts. You feel dizzy.
What?
But you run into the dark tunnel as fast as you can. You keep running, and you can't... until you can't hear the guards coming anymore. I think we lost him, whispers Indy. Hey, wait, what the... He reaches up onto a stone shelf and pulls down a small dark object. The dove! He gasps. I don't believe it. Ravenwood must have hidden it in this tunnel. Must be our lucky day after all. He puts the dove carefully into his supply pack. But how do we get out of here? You ask. It will take even more than luck to get you safely out of the tunnel and off Horror Island. Can you do it? Kristen, this is a very interesting... this is not picking a number.
Even more than luck.
If you are reading this book on a Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, turn to page 87. If you're reading this book on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Monday, happy days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, turn to page 60. Please mark page 25, by the way.
Well, here's the thing, Joe.
We started out friends?
Yes, depending on the outcome, what the fuck do we do? because it's Sunday. If we were children who wanted to follow the rules of this book for fear of being cursed by R.L. Stein. Do you just stop reading the book once you're done? Yeah.
You stumble through the dark tunnel and soon come to the end. You step out into the night. You find yourselves at the bottom of a low hill on the far side of the excavation. So far so good, Indy says quietly, looking around. And then you see a group of armed guards at the top of the hill. They've spotted you. Run! Indy cries, head for the beach! Zing! Zing! The bullets fly over your head. You run through the trees. You run so fast your chest feels like it might explode.
Why do people aim so high?
That's how I'm feeling about now. Oh, God.
Were you gonna meet a panther?
Before you know it, you've left the jungle behind you. You're on the beach. The guards are right behind you.
Beach panther! Beach panther!
At the end of the trees. You're trapped. You can't swim to safety. You have nowhere to run. Turn to page 85.
Guess I'll just die.
Guess I'll just die then. The guards know they have you trapped on the beach. They advance slowly, their rifles trained on you. Hey, over this way, a husky voice calls. You see a small motorboat on the water. It's Captain Jim! I thought you might need my services after all, the old sailor says. You're a young hothead, Jones, but so was I in my time.
And you still are, you dumb bitch!
You and Indy leap onto the motorboat in seconds and you're roaring away from the guards. Away from danger, away from Malakula. Sorry about what happened in New Guinea, Indy says. You're a good friend. Oh no, you're a good friend, Captain Jim. He holds the ebony dove and admires it. I won't forget this. I won't forget any of this either, you say, using your best captain voice. Well, maybe you'd better forget some parts of it when you describe it to your parents, Indiana says with a chuckle. As you speed over the water, you decide that he's right. The end.
Indiana Jones belongs in jail.
Page 87. Because we're going from page 25.
So let's pretend it's Monday.
This tunnel will either lead us out of here, or Indy stops. He decides not to finish his thought. You follow the tunnel as it twists and turns beneath the ground. If only, you start to say, but you decide not to finish your thoughts either. Will your good luck hold out? No. The tunnel leads you right to the smuggler's
Wow, that was fast.
Right to the smuggler's headquarters, where several guards are awaiting you. Indy reaches for his pistol, but a guard blasts it out of his hand.
Offer to become a smuggler.
You're surrounded and outnumbered. There's no escape. Well, actually, there is one way to escape. Close the book! Ryan, turn off the game.
I told him he's gonna curse us!
Turn off the game console, Ryan. The mission's a failure. The Curse of Horror Island has claimed another victim. You! This adventure, sad to say, has come to the end. Are we on 11? Is that what it was? No.
80.
80. So we're accepting the help of Jim.
Watch him turn out to be evil in this one. Nothing means anything.
Turn to page 90. You remember where Professor Ravenwood's expedition was based, he asked Captain Jim? Indy asked Captain Jim. I remember every tunnel he dug, the old sailor answers.
Every tunnel he dug?
Spitting onto the dock. I don't know why you want to go to that cursed hole, but I'll take you there, Jones. And my services don't cost much these days. Okay, climb aboard, Indy says. In a short while, the cargo boat has brought you to Malakula. You row to the shore in a small lifeboat. Several natives are standing on the beach. As you climb off the boat and strap supplies to your backs, you notice that they pay little attention to you. That's strange, Indy says. These natives don't get many visitors. Why aren't they more interested in us? Pay them no mind, Captain Jim says. He limps off the beach. This way, George, follow me. Indy is bewildered by the natives' nonchalance. The two of you follow Captain Jim into the jungle and beyond the beach. 20. You follow a narrow path through the tangled trees. The path soon becomes covered with overgrown vines and tree roots. You have to cut your way through with machetes. After an hour... Oh. Thank you for the very zoomed-in picture of the latest style.
You're welcome. He looks great, with Jem in the background.
Jem is possessing Strong Bad.
Yep, I believe it.
Captain Jim... Wait, excuse me. After an hour, Indy looks at the sky through the thick leafy trees. Wait a minute, Captain, he cries. I think we're going in the wrong direction. Captain Jim wheels around angrily and pushes his good eye right up into Indy's face. Don't tell me which way to go, you young pup. I remember this jungle as well as I remember my left eye. My left eye Lopez.
Aw.
I don't want no scrubs.
He doesn't.
Okay, Indy says, backing away. You lead. We'll follow. You continue to cut through the jungle as you come into the clearing. In the clearing stands 3 tents. What's going on here? Indy asks, whose camp is this? Welcome.
Vacation, all I ever wanted.
Welcome, Jones, calls a familiar voice. The very last fucking thing we're going to do in this book is the Panther. Oh my god.
Woo!
The man with blonde... Well, we also have to get shot at back on the pier, but either way, I don't think that's probably gonna kill us immediately. The man who tried to block your path back in the port in New York steps out from the tents, holding a pistol on the two of you. Oh, he was evil this time, Kristen.
I told you.
Thank you, Jim, he says. You did your job well. You've delivered the goods. Now, the man says, grinning, would you like to see the ebony dove before you die?
I would, thank you.
34. Keep the gun on them. Keep the gun on them, Captain Jim. The man orders Captain Jim, handing the pistol. I'll give you a moment with the treasure, Jones. Then I'm afraid it's lights out for you and the kid. I don't know who's talking right now.
It doesn't matter.
He goes to the tent to get the ebony dove. Sorry about this, Jones, but I gotta make a living. Indy scowls but doesn't say anything. The blonde man emerges from the tent, the ebony dove in his hands. I've got 2 museums bidding for this beauty, Jones, so I know you'll understand why I couldn't let you get here first. And why I can't let you leave here either. But don't worry, my friend, you won't die a boring death. I plan to make it interesting for you. He opens a flap on one of the other tents, revealing a large cage.
He's gonna let us get eaten by a panther!
Laughs an evil laugh as he opens the cage door and leaps out a snarling black panther!
Panther! Panther! Panther! Scroll down.
I did.
Good. Panther!
Panther. Turn to page 45. There is a lovely illustration of a black panther going, "Ah!" which is about how I feel right now.
Yep.
My little pet is hungry, Jones. Seems he hasn't eaten for a few days, and he was so excited about your arrival. The man laughs, his gold tooth gleaming in the sunlight. The panther advances quickly, growling loudly, his eyes looking first at you, and then at Indy.
This is the noise a panther makes.
You realize the mistake the blonde man has made. Indy still has his whip and his pistol. The panther moves forward hungrily. Which should Indy use to fend off the big cat? The whip or the pistol? Kristen, please mark page 45.
Well, we waited really a long time for this panther, so I'm going to say whip because I don't want to kill it.
88. Thank you.
I tried to move really far away from the microphone, sorry.
With lightning speed, the panther leaps at Indy, but Indy is even faster than the sleek animal. His bullwhip...
Absolutely not!
His bullwhip slaps away the attacker. Crack! Crack! The bullwhip slices the air and the panther leaps backward in surprise. The animal stops and stares at Indy. Everything
I
seems
would be
to
pretty
freeze.
fucking confused too.
Then suddenly the panther turns and attacks the blonde man!
Woo!
The attack is short and fatal. The panther
We could have
flees...
seen that coming. Yes, we got to watch the panther eat a person.
The panther flees into the trees. You turn away from the hideous sight. Indy bends down and picks up the ebony dove. Well, it wasn't easy, but it's ours now, kid, he says. No, I'm afraid it isn't!
I was gonna say, are there other people around still?
Captain Jim says, thrusting his pistol into Indy's back. I'm afraid you've got one more important thing here, Jones. Me. Turn to page 100.
Don't call yourself a thing. You're worth more than that.
Indy may have forgotten about Captain Jim's presence, but Captain Jim has forgotten about you. He doesn't see you as you creep up
Little boy!
Little boy! Little...
Woo!
Cousin! Cousin!
Cousin! Cousin!
He doesn't see as you creep up behind him. You pick up speed and barrel into him. Damian Lindelof. Into him. He falls face forward into the dirt. Indy grabs the pistol. Captain Jim is no longer a threat. Nice going, kid, Indy says. I can really tell that we're related. You're just as reckless as I am. And with that fine compliment, this adventure has come to the end. And it shows you spearing Captain Jim in the back and breaking his spine.
That's some big cousin energy.
Well, Kristen, let's see what happens if we shoot at the panther.
Okay, I don't really want to, but...
Turn to page 7. Indy reaches for his pistol, but the Panther is on him quickly. The gun flies out of Indy's hand as the Panther leaps onto his chest, pushing him down on the ground. Indy wrestles on the ground with the snarling creature as you watch helplessly. Now Indy is on top of the Panther. Captain Jim raises his pistol to shoot Indy. You kick the pistol out of his hand. Indy grabs the front and
You kick a pistol out of an adult man's hand?
You do a sweet Aja Kung Fu kick.
I guess so.
Indy grabs the front and back legs of the struggling animal and lifts it up into the air. With a mighty heave, he tosses the surprised cat onto the blonde man. The Panther, furious now, lashes out as its master. In seconds, the blonde man lies dead on the ground. The Panther runs off into the jungle. Meanwhile, you've handed Captain Jim's gun to Indy, who has now trained it on the captain. Wrestling really isn't my sport, Indy says, wiping the long Panther scratches on his neck. But I guess I won the match. He picks up the ebony dove from the ground and examines it. Wait a minute, he cries. This dove is a fake! Oh, turn to page 28.
How do we know?
I'm sure Indy will tell us. Our friend here seems to have died for a fake, Indy says, shaking his head. I don't believe it, Captain Jim cries as he runs over to Indy. I just don't believe it. Suddenly, Indy grabs him in a headlock. Do you believe that I'm going to break your neck? Indy is going to kill this person. Wonderful, Asuka. Thank you. Asuka battling? Yeah, Asuka's facing Mandy Rose tonight. That's right.
Yep.
Asuka's not going to lose the title before Mania.
No, she's not.
Fuck off.
Not to fucking Mandy Rose.
Fucking Mandy Rose. I can't wait to hear Corey Graves be a fucking asshole on commentary about her. Either way.
Yep. You know what WWE loves, Joe? Blonde women.
Boy, oh boy, Kristen. The running commentary with the Royal Rumble about you were with you where it was just like Charlotte, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose. They're all just...
Yep.
they're all just all the same person.
When you zoom out in the Royal Rumble, it looks like there's 10 Charlottes.
Oh boy. All right.
They're really good at branding.
Don't you believe I'm going to break your neck? Indy growls. What? Captain Jim struggles to breathe. Indy tightens his grasp on the old sailor's neck. You set this guy up, didn't you, Jim? You plan to get your fee from him and sell the real dove yourself. You're the only one around here who knows this island, and you know where the dove is located. You paid off the Malakulans not to interfere. Why would they need human money?
A lot of assumptions here, yeah. And why would they need
white guy money? I shouldn't say human money. They are humans.
Yes, they are. Why would they need presumably currency from a civilization of which they are not part of?
And you plan to walk away with this and retrieve the real carving you've hidden away. Indy squeezes harder on Captain Jim's neck. The old sailor's eyes bulge. His face turns scarlet. You're real smart, Jones, says Captain Jim, his voice in a choked whisper. But somehow the old man manages to pick up a machete from the ground nearby. Indy, look out! Will your warning do any good? Turn to page 61.
I mean, is he not talking to the man? Does he not see him picking up the machete?
Indy squeezes harder. Captain Jim gasps and the machete falls from his hand. Okay, the captain manages to cry out. You win, Jones. You win. A short while later, the Captain Jim hands over the real ebony dove.
What? Okay.
A short while after that, you're on a cargo ship, this time bound for the good old US of A.
Wow, we don't have any fucking time.
This was better than hanging
out. Wrap it up.
This is better than hanging around the house all summer, you tell Indy as the ship carries you out over the dark waves. Summer was a little dull in places, cuz, Indy says wryly. Maybe next summer we can think of something exciting to do.
Everyone in this family is a fucking idiot.
Kristen, is the only decision we have left to make getting shot?
Let's find out! Scrolling all the way back.
I've been drinking water, but I feel like I am dying out here.
Yeah, we are going back to page 2.
Oh, baby. I can't wait.
Let's get the crowd shot.
Yeah, run into the crowd, turn to page 19. You both leap away from the luggage pile. Another bullet whizzes over your heads. You just slip into the line of passengers who have just disembarked, and Indy turns to see if you're still being followed. 2 men in trench coats are just a few yards behind you. Oh, keep in mind, Kristen, this is actually the first time we didn't listen to Indiana Jones all the way because we didn't go into the crowd of passengers like you wanted.
I'm getting some mixed messages.
Two men in trench coats are just a few yards behind you. Their hands are in their trench coat pockets, but you can see that they're carrying guns. Their eyes surveying the crowd. They spot you. You dart through the crowd of people, cutting back in the direction of the cargo ship. This isn't working, kid, Indy says, seeing that you still haven't lost your pursuers. We've got to try something else. There's a stack of large wooden crates on the pier in front of the red cargo boat. Maybe we can hide in those crates, you suggest. Worth a try. Hide in the crates? The crates will be loaded onto the boat and we'll be home free. You run to the crates and Indy pries open one at the far end of the pier and pushes
We're gonna end up
on a boat to Alaska.
In Alaska and marry a dentist or whatever.
You hear him... from inside the dark crate, you hear him climbing into another crate. Now you wait to be lifted onto the cargo boat. Have you managed to escape the men in the trench coats? Turn to page 103. 103. Oh, thank God, it's at the end. This is a
Yay! Yay!
You wait to be lifted onto the ship, your heart pounding. Stay calm. Stay calm, you tell yourself. You wait. And then you wait some more. It seems like hours. Finally, you can't wait any longer. You push up the lid of the crate, and the dock is deserted. Those men are gone, you tell yourself happily. But wait a minute, the other crates that were beside yours, they're gone! And the red cargo boat is gone too! Indy, where are you? You cry, but Indy is nowhere in sight. He was loaded onto the boat. You look around the empty dock. This adventure can't be over already, can it? You wonder. Yes, it can. The end.
Joe, I'm not gonna lie, that's probably for the best. After everything else that we experienced, I'm fine with that.
I really do like how at the end of it all, at the end of everything, what stopped us was, I mean, this was the safest route the kid could have went on. Mm-hmm. Just not going.
It's a weirdly satisfying ending.
And with that,
fucking over.
And with that, Kristen, that's the Curse of Horror Island all over and done with. I gotta check the rest of the. I gotta check this compared to the Gem books. I think the Gem books only had like 70 pages.
That felt very long.
This one had 120, just about.
Let's see. What gift do I want to...
I don't know if I saw the very last page. Oh no, well I did. 118 pages. There is a page after that. The Science Fiction Adventure Series welcomes the Queen of Science Fiction, Andre Norton. Available at your bookstore, or use this coupon.
Wow!
Is
there an expiration date on that?
No, there isn't. You got The Beastmaster, Lord of Thunder, The Jargoon Pard, Stargate, and Griffin and Glory. I think I would buy Stargate. Please send me the Ballantine. Please send me the Ballantine or Delray books. I have checked the above, and I am enclosing 50 cents on the proper coverage. No checks or CODs, please. Price and numbers are subject to change without notice. Please allow at least 4 weeks for delivery. I might send this in.
Yeah, might as well.
So Ballantine, Kristen, let's check real quick. Does thank you for showing us Ocelot.
You're welcome. It just seemed a good way to end it.
Kristen, after Metal Gear Solid 3, why would Ocelot drop his gun like that when it's very clear that he's good with a pistol in both his hands?
Because that part hadn't been written yet. Or maybe he hadn't used that hand in a real long time.
Well, Kristen, if this was a painful experience, I can't wait for the other 4 Indiana Jones books that I have.
I hope they get better.
Full of bad puns.
Honestly, Joe, the Gem books weren't perfect. But Indiana Jones is an incredibly irritating character. He's just bad to listen to.
Would it have been better if it were Indiana Jems the entire time?
Kind of, because she at least is always like, haha, cute thing about me being a pop star. And that's like, sure, whatever, I guess. This is like, you're in a horrible situation, people die. Death left and right, and Harrison Ford's like,
well, we'll be back eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually.
At least to do more of these.
Let's end this before this goes 3 hours.
It only takes more than twice as long as it usually would take us to do podcast episodes, so this seems like a good use of our time.
Goodbye, everybody!
Goodbye!